What?
And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner!
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team.
Do you even know what you're talking about?
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
All Man United fans live in the past.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to We Are Soccer. It is the Sunday night recap show from We Are Soccer. I'm your host, Craig Hearn. We've got a special guest in the studio. We'll get to him in a minute. Well, it was a fantastic weekend of soccer, as we all know. Every weekend is a fantastic weekend for soccer. Arsenal bottle it. Ooh, disappointing result there for Arsenal at home. We will talk about that. Man City roll. Interesting, some little pieces that come out of that game. We'll talk about that, the EPL results. Southampton officially relegated. Chelsea, oh my word, the dumpster fire just keeps getting better and better, but they do have a new coach now. All right, there's a couple of other things we'll talk about. Manager of the year, we'll talk about the Leeds fan who came on the field, Harry Kane, Solskjaer offered Erling Haaland.
What was that name there?
Yep, exactly. We'll talk about that a little later. Barca win the Liga. Lecce, who have been relegated out of La Liga, beat Atletico. Some fun things to get to. A world record we'll talk about as well. As you heard there, that's Nate in the house. And with our special guest, Mr. Danny Price from Liverpool Football Club here in Michigan and the head coach of Brother Rice Boys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome to We Are Soccer, my friend. Hope you're well. How's it going?
All good.
Yeah?
All good. Just hopped a flight from South Carolina from an ECL event and decided to show up, and myself and Nate are going to take you on tonight.
Oh, yeah, the two Man United boys. All right, well, you're lucky they won. Nate, how are you, bud?
I'm doing great. I looked up a whole bunch of Danny Price facts, so it's going to be called DP facts. You know, DP fact number one. He has a sexy voice. DP fact number one. Follow along at home.
Follow along at home. I do want to tell everybody, though, listen, thank you for joining. Please participate in the show. Participate. Comment. Put your thoughts in. We will read out the good comments.
Be our friends.
Be our friends, please. Yes, please do that. All right, before we jump into the fantastic soccer talk that we've got to talk about our friends and partners of We Are Soccer. Big thank you to Soccer World. You can find all of your soccer gear needs at soccerworld.net. If you are in the Metro Detroit area, they have 3 Metro Detroit locations. Canton, I was just at that Canton store. It's beautiful. Rochester and Brighton. Soccerworld.net if you are not in the Metro Detroit area. And thank you to Next Level Training. Aaron Bird, Scotty Wright, Dylan, Renato, the boys do a fantastic job. They are not the best trainers here in Detroit, but the best trainers in the country. There is a reason all the top players and coaches come to Metro Detroit. It's for Aaron and Next Level Training. Next week, I hear there's going to be several high college coaches. Duke, North Carolina, that type of stuff. They're coming here for a reason. They're coming here to watch some of the Next Level Training players as they go through the paces with Aaron and the Next Level crew. Big thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing out of Oak Park, Michigan. We love you guys. They have come on as a new partner. Wow, what a fantastic brewery. They provide us with beer every week. Some of my favorite beer. There is a small video we'll be posting probably this week about us trying some beers. We're going to be having some events at the Dog and Pony Show Brewing coming up as well. Also, their 2-year anniversary is June 17th. Make sure you get out to Dog and Pony Show Brewing in Oak Park. All right, lots to talk about. Again, if you're watching, please participate. Throw those comments in there.
Hey, did you change the name again to the show?
Maybe, possibly.
Like the 3rd one in a row?
Is it?
I think so.
Is it? I don't even know. I don't
should have a contest.
Ooh, that's a good.
Wait a minute, that could go bad, really bad, real quick.
Why? You think some of our fans would put some bad stuff in there?
Yeah. I mean, I would just put bad stuff in there. I totally would if I was at home. Yeah, everyone would. Come on, that's just recipe for disaster.
I mean, Good Lord. All right, let's jump in. All right, we'll call it the Arsenal bottle job. Danny and I were talking about this before we went live. Listen, Arsenal now, I believe, have officially lost the league. They lost today 3-0 at home to Brighton. And I know possession of a game doesn't really mean much, but typically this year, Arsenal have done a very good job of keeping the ball. Today, Brighton had a 67% possession, outplayed Arsenal, in my opinion. This was from the get-go. This was filled with some fouls and some hard laid out tackles. But this is the game that maybe broke the camel's back, the straw that broke the camel's back, losing 3-0. But Danny, I know you'd had some stats written down. This wasn't the one that did it. It was some of the games in April, correct?
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I think it's unfair to call it a disaster.
Yeah.
You know, a season of disaster. Disappointing. Yeah, absolutely. Especially given the fact that, you know, they've led the table for most of the season. But, you know, I think Arsenal fans and Mikel Arteta in particular probably think that, you know, the manner in which they've given away the league is really pointed towards those 4 results in April. You know, if you look at the 2-2 away at Anfield, you know, against Liverpool, 2-2 away at West Ham, and then 3-3 at home against Southampton. You know, with then obviously going to the Etihad and getting beaten. You know, that's 4 games there and 12 points on offer.
Yeah.
You know, they've only come away with 3 points there. So, you know, that you can look to that really, to be honest with you, with that downfall. I don't think today's result really. I mean, yes, statistically, I think they're out of the race for the title, but it was more about how Brighton played and how well they played.
Unexpectedly, because Brighton last week lost, and this week they show up at Arsenal and really do the job. Arsenal just, I think is it a disaster of a season? No, I think it's, as you said, a disappointment of a season. I think they've got such good players that this will serve them well in the next couple of years. Yeah, Nate?
So going into the season, I don't think anyone was like Arsenal.
No, no one had them pegged to win.
But at a certain point, and this is always, I get in this argument a lot of times differently with people. Do your expectations change at a certain point in the season when you're doing well, right? So from that standpoint, is it a disaster considering that maybe the expectations when you were that far ahead of the league, and like you said, you had to beat relegated Southampton, struggling West Ham, and Liverpool that was here and there in order to maintain it up top, and you tied all 3 of them. I mean, at that point, I guess wouldn't you consider it a bit of a disaster, though? Yeah.
I think if I go back to the Arsenal Man United days of yesteryear with Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger made a statement. Oh, those were the days.
No, okay, all right.
Remember when we used to win, Danny?
Oh yes, I remember all so well. I remember Arsene Wenger turning around in an interview, and it was a very off the cuff thing, and he said something in relation to something that Alex Ferguson said about the bottom level teams. He said, "Well, Manchester United win the league every year because they get the results against the bottom tier teams."
Yep.
That's what you have to do, I'm afraid.
Yep.
That's what you have to do in order to win the title.
And as they say, you could be a good team, but you're going to run through a patch of bad games where things don't happen, the soccer gods don't shine down on you, but the good teams, the great teams, find a way to win those games. They grind them out 1-0. I really did think in March there was a couple of games that Arsenal were down or towards the end tied, and they pulled that out, and I thought, this is a different team. This year they're going to do it. And then they went through that patch in April, as you said, with I think there was 3 or 4 draws, and you were like, no, they're not there yet. They're a good team. They're not a great team. They're not quite there yet. They're still missing that piece or 2. And you're right. Sir Alex Ferguson came out and said, Arsene Wenger said, the good teams find a way.
Yeah,
they find a way no matter what.
And that's with all the leagues. I mean, you look at Munich, not to switch gears, not to switch gears here, but Munich, They it's not only just beating the top teams, they get results of the bottom teams. And the reason why Dortmund has slipped now is because of what they did against Bochum like 3 weeks ago.
Right.
That's the problem. It's not so much of the issues they had with Munich, and it's not so much Munich doing good. It's the other teams dropping points to, like you said, the bottom half of the table teams when they should be beating them.
Well, the Premier League is so different now in the sense that teams in the bottom half of the table, they're not bad teams.
Right.
Like if you go back to, I think the last time I was on the show, Arsenal played, I think it was Bournemouth at home, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was 2-2, and then Maitland-Niles won it in
Yep.
the end, right?
In the end of the 93rd or 4th minute, yep.
And you're thinking at that point, you're going, oh, this Arsenal team got the mentality to go and win the title.
Yeah.
you know, and we were all said, yes. I mean, I still said that City had gone win the title, but they've got the mentality to go and do it. But those results in April have killed any chance of them winning the title.
I think any Arsenal fan at the beginning of the season would have said, we're going to finish second? Yeah, we'll take it. Don't even play the season. We'll take it right now. We'll finish second. That's great. And then, obviously, in December, they went, we've got a 10-point or a January, we got a 10-point cushion here. This could be us. This is it. We're in. And it for the past, we'll say 6 weeks has been a bit of a bottle job. They've just lost it. They've run out of steam. And they're not the only team that are running out of steam. There's some other teams that are, we'll get to it in a little bit, limping across the line. And we'll talk about whether it's just the Premier League or is it the World Cup that's caused this? But it's going to serve them well, I feel. Nate, what were you going to say there? Sorry. Did I cut you off?
Oh, no. But it was just going back to, I mean, again, beginning of the year, you say second would be great because you weren't in the Champions League this year. So obviously finishing the Champions League should have been your target. But again, expectations change a little bit when you're not racing and you're ahead.
Yeah.
When you're ahead that far, it's like when you're leading the race and then you decide to take your foot off the pedal and then you lose and you go, well, second's good, right? Well, no, you were ahead. Like, why?
Yeah.
Just finish it out. So.
I do think this is going to be weird to say, but it might have helped City that Arsenal went out and put that lead of points ahead. Because now City are going, okay, let's take a breather. Let's pause. It's January, February. We're still in the Champions League. We're still in the FA Cup. We're still second in the league. Let's really dissect how this can go. And we can't take a day off. Boys, this is the goal. It's the treble. We are behind in the Premiership. Here's the carrot. We know the Champions League is the ultimate goal for the year, but Pep is saying, in my opinion, he went, we're going to use this. And every time we get an inch closer, a point closer, you're going to see the Arsenal, young Arsenal team who I don't think quite have the leadership qualities that are needed, fade. And he, in my opinion, I think if you could get into the dressing room in February, I think he would have told the boys, we're going to win this league. We're going to win it. We're going to win the Champions League. We're going to win the FA Cup. You just got to keep with the process and watch how it goes. We've got the best team in the world here. And I think dangling that little carrot saying, what good would it be to win the Champions League and the FA Cup if you don't win the league? And the team went, yeah. Because I think that's when everybody buckled down and really started to go at it, because people forget in November, December when they came back, Man City went through a little bit of a blip. They lost to Bournemouth. They were struggling against Southampton and some of those lower teams, and I think they used that dangling carrot, and I think it worked out well for them. And they, I don't want to say, but for me, have been the best team in the world in the last 3 months. There's no team who performed better on the field or in any competition.
You saw it with City last year. You saw it with City last year. That experience. I think Arteta's fighting against that experience again with a really very good squad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a very very good squad, and arguably the best forward in the world at the minute. But I don't want to make excuses for Arsenal, because, to be honest with you, I don't like Arsenal that much. But I don't want to make excuses for them. The injury to Saliba at the back has had a massive effect on them.
Yes.
A massive effect on them, in my opinion, certainly the games that I've watched anyway.
But I will counter that with, I am not a Manchester United fan. I do not like Manchester United.
Wait, what?
But,
What?
I
Wait,
know,
hold
I
on.
know,
Hold
I
on
know,
a second.
Wait.
2 against 1,
So,
buddy.
yeah, sorry to let
No,
you
I'm
guys
just
in on
surprised
that.
to hear that.
I know. It's
This
strange.
whole time.
Yeah.
So what do I do with the personalized jersey? I got you?
Oh, good Lord! I can tell you where to shove that.
On your
The
back?
two center backs, Varane and Martinez went down injured a couple of weeks ago. Did they not, for Man United?
Yeah, but we have the
And-
greatest center back ever in
and-
one Harry Maguire.
Yes.
Yeah.
They haven't even been playing him, right? And you lost
He's
Eriksen.
phenomenal.
Eriksen was out for 2.5 to 3 months.
You didn't need Eriksen.
Man United still won. They still found a way to win, right?
I was-
Arsenal, they lose Saliba. Jesus went down for a little bit. They had another injury or two. They did not find a way to win.
Yeah,
They
just-
found struggles.
Yeah.
And they're just not as, I don't want to say they're not as deep, but the experience, and I think Arteta's lack of experience really showed but I think it will help him and the team grow. I think in the next 3 years, this Arsenal team wins a Premiership. I think they will get a piece or two to the into their squad in the next transfer window or two that will really help. Trossard for 27 million was a brilliant signing, an absolutely brilliant signing. I think they'll find another one that you're going, man, that's good. Jorginho, another great one, but I think they'll sign one or two, and you're going to go, that's what put them over the edge, because they really do have a great squad, and they're very young. Odegaard, for me, there has never been a player I have seen that has come close to a Zinedine Zidane-esque, and I think it's Odegaard.
I thought, honestly, I mean, I'm definitely not being anti-Arsenal. I will say something really positive. I thought Odegaard's been probably one of the best central midfielders in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, he's going to be great for Madrid down the stretch.
Yeah. Yeah,
Him and Jude, it's going to be an amazing duo in that midfield.
I think Odegaard, and I believe he's only 23 years old still.
Yeah, plenty of time to make that
super
transfer.
Young. He has the experience he's gained in the last year and a half in the Premiership and how far he's come. I think he is the next version of Zinedine Zidane, where he can control a game and really pop up with a goal here or two, a goal or two around that when it's needed. But he's struggling at the moment because I think everybody's tired. I think they didn't have the right pieces around. They're going to swap out some pieces, and I really do think they'll win the Premiership in the next year or the next 3 years. They'll find a way to get one. And I think they'll, as it was with Arsenal for the last 5 or 6 years of his career at Arsenal, Arsene Wenger, the last 5 or 6 years at his career at Arsenal, just getting top 4 was good enough. That's not good enough for Arsenal anymore now that they've done this. Now that they've come and done this, led the Premiership for almost the entire year.
What's
and
this?
Second,
Lose their footing in the top of the league?
Finishing second in the league, giving the best team in the world a run for their money. This is the standard now, to finish top 2, and if not top 1.
I want to
just repeat it. That would be the standard, I think.
I want to provide a little bit of caution to that, considering the fact that Liverpool have done the same thing over the last couple of years.
But that's a cautionary tale. The problem
And
with
Chelsea.
them, Chelsea. That we'll get into that dumpster fire in a minute.
Remember when they were good?
We'll get into that. But I think for me, Liverpool are the cautionary tale because they didn't strengthen their squad properly, in my opinion. Now, they went through when they won a couple of years back, very lucky without the injuries. Their training room staff did a phenomenal job of keeping people healthy. They got very lucky because as Arsenal has been for the past 5 years, there's no backups. There's no one to come in and change the game. They were so good, but now all of a sudden,
Is he a closet Arsenal fan?
He is.
I think he is, isn't he? I can tell it in his voice. I think he's got a little bit of love for them. Man crush.
I visited
much like the one you
visited
have on me.
Highbury. I did visit Highbury back in '88.
Mine is much more stronger on yours. It's like, come on.
I really enjoyed the way they played this year. I enjoyed watching Arsenal play. I think they were fun to watch. Odegaard and Saka, for me, were two of the best players in January to watch. It was an enjoy to watch. And at the time, Villa weren't doing as well. The Villa are not as entertaining as I would hope. But I think they've come a long way in the last couple of months, and they will be moving forward. So I watch a lot of different games. I try to watch the big boys play: the Man United, the Arsenal, the Chelsea, the Man Cities. And for me,
what about Stuttgart?
No, definitely not. Arsenal.
Why not?
Arsenal was just a super entertaining team. Why don't we jump in and talk about the Man City Everton game? All right. So listen, I talked about this game with my dad this afternoon. There's a picture of Erling Haaland after the game, and he's taking his shirt off. I think he gave his shirt away to a fan, and he's clapping. And you can see scratches and bruises. Like, I'm not just talking like 2 or 3. There's 8 or 9 different scratches on his back and little bruises that someone's, twisted or pinched him. And apparently that's what Yeremina, the defender for Everton, does. And they've complained about this before. And Pep Guardiola, I know, Danny Price, my dad gave me the same look. My dad was a central defender. He goes, that's what they're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
What else are you supposed to do with a guy that farts in your face?
Because he's 7'3".
I mean, that's apparently like what they say is like he just walks up into like the middle and just starts ripping ass, I guess.
Jesus.
Man, he's lucky he doesn't get studs right down the back of his Achilles.
Yeah,
I know. But it's people forget there are little games, little nuances of the game, and that's
The
how
game within a
Euromina
game
stopped.
all the
The
time.
game within a game.
100%.
The game within a game. It was interesting to watch, but Pep Guardiola was talking to Euromina saying, "You're good enough that you don't need to do this." But he does it anyway. He's done it before. Man City today rolled. I believe, from what I'm hearing, the rumor is that Erling Haaland actually asked to come off the field in and around the 65th minute to preserve himself for the game that's coming up this week. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's the Champions League second leg semifinal game against Real Madrid. That one's at the Etihad, so we'll talk about that for sure. But Man City did what Man City do. They win 3-0. Everton are going to struggle. We'll put up that table in a minute. Gundogan with 2 goals. Did you boys happen to see the Gundogan goal?
Yeah.
Where he brings it with his thigh before the ball he's got his back to his goal, brings it down with his thigh. The ball doesn't even touch the ground, and he just flicks it. Oh, what an absolutely brilliant goal. That's just Gundogan right there, who is reportedly on his way to Spain this summer. That's interesting. We'll see what happens with Bernardo Silva and Gundogan.
I mean, it's sunny
They-
there.
It's sunny there.
Yeah, it's
Well, yeah, and it's like we talk about with Jude Bellingham, right? You've got Manchester
Warm.
City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, 4 great teams that you can pick from, or you can just go to La Liga and Real Madrid. Real Madrid wins every time. I mean,
play less games.
play less games, have more fun. That is the team, and you boys will argue with this, I'm sure, but this Real Madrid is probably the biggest club in the world. I mean, they have won how many Champions Leagues have they won?
More than
14.
2.
14?
You know, you
2.
14?
you can have that. You can have that. I mean, there's nobody that's going to catch Real Madrid in terms of Champions
Never.
League.
Yeah, never.
Well, it's because a lot of them they did like when in the 1800s or
They've
whatever.
won 3 out of the last
Yeah,
they've won
it's-
3 out of the last 6 or 7.
Yeah, I don't
like
pay
that.
attention to
They're
that.
gonna win 4 out of the last 10. Something silly. I forget the
Yeah.
number, but
We'll get to it in a minute. But
Yeah.
they will win this year.
absolutely. You think they'll beat City?
Yeah.
You think they'll beat City
I do.
at City?
I think they're the only team in club football right now that can give City a game.
I got
100%.
with you.
100. I 100%.
I
am
saw
on it.
this. I saw this video, this Eggman video where he was crushing eggs.
Oh, good lord, the
It's
Eggman.
very scientific, and
I wish I had the rights to the Beatles song.
I mean,
the Eggman.
so unfortunately, Madrid's gonna lose the City because the egg got crushed by the Madrid one. However, City's gonna lose to, I believe, Intra is
Inter.
yeah, that one too.
Intra.
And that one. And hey, the Eggman has been right so wrong so far.
No, I can't see it. I see a Benzema. I see
didn't
a
see it
Benzema
either.
Clask incoming.
I didn't see it either until the guy took the 2 eggs and put them together, and the City.
That's
went
what you're
broke.
basing the result off. You're basing the result off 2 eggs coming together.
Yeah.
This is what I deal with, Danny.
He's
this
mad.
is
He's
this is
absolutely
what
No,
I,
it's
this is
it's
what I deal with every
scientific.
week. Yes,
Danny,
He's absolutely
it's
mad.
absolutely
Surprised
scientific.
he doesn't walk in here with a straight jacket on.
There's a pan underneath him.
He actually
might have
takes
made
his
an
straight
omelet.
jacket off outside and hangs it up.
Yeah, you don't want to walk in a
all
room
right.
with a straitjacket.
I know. All right,
It's just weird.
I am gonna say, listen. I think Man City win this, and here's why. I'm gonna go back to how Man City played against Arsenal in the 2 games in the league. The first game that Man City played against Arsenal, Erling Haaland played very, very high on the field and drew away defenders. Arsenal actually did very well in limiting his touches. Everybody expected in the second game Erling Haaland to play in that same position, super high on the field. In the second game, which is at the Etihad, I believe, in London, he played as almost a withdrawn forward. And every single time he came to the ball, laid it down, back to goal, in around the halfway mark, laid it down and laid it, and Kevin De Bruyne, and laid it off. And twice Kevin De Bruyne went on goal, scored 1, could have had another. He was the man who they were looking for target to lay off. He was the target man and laid off. And just that little bit of, I think, that change in tactics, and then there was a bit of a change in tactics of how they were playing in the back. I think you go, and Pep Guardiola goes, okay, here's what we saw from Real Madrid in the first game, and here's how we're going to counter it. And I think he's got it. I think they will get it done. Now that the game's at home as well, I just see Man City getting the job. I want to say it's going to be 2-0 win for Man City.
I want to take you back 12 months ago
Yeah.
when everybody from
Everybody
the
said-
quarterfinals on said Madrid are not in the top 4.
Mhm.
They wouldn't make the semi-finals.
I didn't say that.
Well, no, you didn't.
I mean,
Nate did.
I didn't watch the Eggman video then, but
Yes. But no, everybody in the world said, Real Madrid's not going to come close to this. They're
No,
just
they
off
didn't
this
last
year.
year.
Yeah.
And they found a way
Yeah.
to win, and they play good football doing it. This is Real Madrid's competition. It's almost like the La Liga doesn't matter to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they win more Copa del Rey's than they win La Liga titles. This is their competition.
Yep.
It is, you know, it's their fairy tale every single season, and I don't.
There's
As
something
good as Pep Guardiola is as a manager,
average.
Oh, good God. This is
Oh,
what
I'm sorry. How many Champions Leagues has he won without Messi? We'll wait.
Wait, hold on, Danny. Your opinion
wait.
of Guardiola, average or one of the top managers ever?
I mean, he's one of the top managers when he has an endless treasure trove of money to use. Yeah, sure, great.
I think he's one of the. I think he's
Didn't do shit for Munich.
he's one of the greatest managers to ever walk the
Oh,
face of the earth.
get out of here.
Top three for sure.
Get out of here. Top three?
Top three.
Top three.
Yeah.
No.
There is something to do with man management because yes, he's had a lot of money to spend, but you have to manage the egos of these people and these players who want to play every game, right?
Yeah.
You've got to be able to go to Everton and say, "Hey, Kevin De Bruyne, you're not even on the bench.
Yeah.
You're staying at home. Good luck with that." And Kevin De Bruyne is going to go, "I want to play, and if you're not going to play me every game, I'll go somewhere else where I can."
You remember when he won the league with City and then lost in the Champions League final with Chelsea?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Chelsea pulled a masterclass. Tuchel pushed him
I mean,
pulled a masterclass.
There's a lot to
on
be
him.
said.
I'm sorry, but like he came into Munich. He was supposed to go to Munich, and he was brought in there to win the Champions League, and he failed. And then he came into City, and he's done well with City, but he came into a loaded City team and has been given an endless treasure trove.
There's an element of truth to it. Right? Different eras of the game. Right. Different eras of the game. Pep's done it with checkbook clubs. Didn't do it with Munich.
No.
Right. Hasn't done it with City to date. You know, he's
Sure.
been in a final and he's been almost runs every year. Sir Alex Ferguson did it at Manchester United twice.
Mm-hmm.
Won in Europe with Aberdeen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with clubs that didn't have that checkbook. So
Now, Man United did have that pull back in the 90s and the early 2000s, and they did spend
but we
more.
weren't
They didn't get the
spending-
pull.
We weren't spending
they-
the type of money City were making.
Yeah, and
Well,
Ferguson
I would-
created that pull, by the way.
I would say the money he was offering players like Roy Keane, the more money than anybody was willing to pay him, and they were willing to buy him for. That's what got Roy Keane there. And there are other players, Dwight York.
I disagree with that.
I've read the book.
disagree
Roy
with
Keane
that.
said I went there because of the money, because it was.
No. Roy Keane went to Manchester United after two different conversations with Sir Alex and Kenny Dalglish at the time when he was at Blackburn. They offered him the same money, and the transfer fee was the same. He went to Manchester United to win trophies.
After sort of Alex Ferguson talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I would say the same
But
thing.
that was, I think, at the time, was one of the most expensive transfers around.
It was like 3.75 million. something
Right.
like that.
So they had the money. They were willing to spend the money, just like Liverpool were willing to spend the money, and just like the other clubs. But they went out. This is off topic, but he had a lot of money to spend, and he did an absolute. And I think Alex Ferguson, if not one, is two. You'd probably put him one. I put him one or two. Doesn't matter. One of the top managers ever.
I think Sir Alex built teams off less money with not quality players. I mean, you look at the title that they won in 2013 before he retired, to the squad that they have now, or the squad that City have now.
I think there's something to be said with the Carlos Ancelotti and a Jose Mourinho. I know Jose Mourinho gets a lot of flack lately because he's very old school by being able to go to different leagues and consistently win and actually get teams winning in the Champions League with different teams in different environments.
But you don't put Pep Guardiola.
No.
You don't put none in the top 5 of the
Maybe
world.
top 5, maybe. I don't know. But like to me, it's until he wins a Champions League without Messi, the best player in the world, I've been told.
Probably the best player to ever touch a ball. in my
Okay.
opinion, yeah.
So
I get that. But again, there is something to do.
how hard is it to manage the best player in the world? You're not.
It is tough.
You're not managing a Messi.
You're managing a Messi. You're managing an Iniesta and an Xavi, and how the game is played.
It's like me
and the
trying to
tactics.
give Danny hair tips and advice.
It's not going to
It's
happen.
frugal. His hair is so damn good.
You could have won the Champions League with that Barcelona team. My grandmother could have won the Champions League.
I would have struggled, but you.
Yes. Well,
He didn't do anything.
I don't know about that.
All right, guys, go out
Okay,
there and
all
play.
right, hold on. All right, and I'm probably going to counter my own argument with this little.
It's
piece.
like Zidane. Like, do you think Zidane did much? Like, do you think like
when
All right, guys.
Get the ball to Ronaldo.
Here's what we're gonna do.
when
Play football.
when Thierry Henry
Oh, good
went to
God.
Barcelona, It said, he, in his own admission, it said it took him 6 to 8 months to figure out what Pep wanted and how to play. He goes, he wanted me to come back into the play on the right side, not to get the ball, but to draw the right defender to open up the game for Xavi and Iniesta. He goes, and I could not understand how this was going to work. He goes, you're taking me, someone who scored goals at the highest level, and putting me in this team as a goal scorer, but you want me to be a decoy, and you want me to stay out right, come back, draw the left defender to open space in the middle of the field? What am I doing here? And he said it took him about 6 months, and it wasn't until the latter part of the season he went, this is genius. It's working every time. And he goes, I want this. I don't care that I'm being a decoy. He had to buy in, and it took that long. I think Pep Guardiola takes these unbelievable players, Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, Haaland, and he says, this is how we're going to play, and this is what we do. You're either in or you're out. And how many of these players go, I'm out? Not very many. So is man management. There's a lot to do with it, and there is little tactical pieces. I think he's one of the best ever to do it. I put him and Sir Alex Ferguson as 1 and 2. Depending on the day, I'll flip-flop, to be honest. But they did today what they do, and they will go on. Man City can officially win the Premiership next weekend by beating Chelsea. All they have to do is beat Chelsea.
Well, I think they just need 1 point.
No, they just need 1 win. No, they need
3
Oh, 1 win? They need 3?
3
Okay.
points. And I think they'll do it next week.
Are they at home?
I mean,
I got to look if it's
Chelsea is a juggernaut of a team, though, that has spent, $500 million in players that are top line, and they have a management system that is
Well, they've got
right.
something.
That's what I was told.
Yes. They officially drew yesterday.
Who's running that team again?
Yeah, well, it's Frank Lampard. Oh my word, he is terrible.
He was a good player.
Yeah, he was a great player, but my oh my, what a terrible manager.
I honestly think Frank Lampard's a bit of a patsy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a patsy.
Yeah,
As a
Definitely
bit?
patsy. Yeah,
A bit?
Hold on, as a manager or as a player?
Yes.
Is it both? No, I just kidding. Frank Lampard was a great player. As a manager, he's a patsy.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
absolutely
Totally
a patsy.
Yeah.
Todd Bowley, I think Todd Bowley thinks that he's playing Championship Manager.
Yeah.
On a video game.
Yeah.
Honestly does. With the amount of money he's spent, that's a 30-man playing squad. Now, we can talk about Pochettino coming in a minute as the new manager, but he's got a hell of a job on his hands.
God. It's
He's a great manager, but he's got a hell of a job on his hands.
I think someone didn't explain to him what actually these contracts mean, and it's not America. Like it was funny because I was talking to
When's the All-Star game, guys?
So you just cut him and you don't have to pay him anymore, right?
Yeah. What? I mean, I got to pay this guy?
What's going on here?
What does he only get? He owns the LA Dodgers, right?
Something. Yeah, I think.
he owns the
Yes,
LA
he's
Dodgers.
part owner of majority owner of the Dodgers.
Yeah, and what, they do silly stuff like that, right? Don't they? They give players like $350 million contracts.
Yeah, it's
That's because there's no contract, there's no salary cap in baseball. Yeah, so what they do is they give you a 10-year contract, $350 million over that 10 years, which is what they're doing now. They signed Enzo Fernandez in January and that Mudryk in January. 3 months later, they gave him extended contracts. You guys have been doing so well. We're going to give you more money over another 3 years.
But
Mudryk's played, has he?
Mudryk hasn't been doing so
Mudryk
well.
hasn't played. No, he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible.
Oh man, talk about just like, hey, I read the newspaper and I was told this guy was good. Go get him.
I think that was a masterclass by Arsenal, who were so really following him and wanting to bid on him, and then all of a sudden Chelsea jumped in. To go back to what we were saying, next week Chelsea are at Manchester City, so Manchester City can win the Premiership next week at home.
So Manchester City's got to wait another week, right?
They got Manchester City. You have to wait another week. Yes, that game is next Sunday, a week from today.
I guess they'll be up for the Chelsea game after getting knocked out by Madrid in midweek. So I mean,
Whoa!
No, not
Look
by
at
Madrid.
you.
Eggman
Look at
says lose in the final. Eggman says lose in the final.
I
really hope they do, because I really hope Madrid do knock them out, because I can't stomach the treble.
I really
just can't.
All right,
really
so-
hope they don't, only because I'd really like this Eggman guy to be right.
Yeah.
I'm really rooting for him.
I have to see this. You're gonna have to send me a link.
I mean, it was before, it was like round 8, and he got all the round 8 predictions right. He's an oracle.
That's nutty. Glenn Hearn just chimed in with Ronaldo sucks. Just our weekly update there. All right,
Wait,
Danny.
is he still playing?
Ronaldo or Glenn?
Yes.
Glenn hasn't touched the ball in years, and Ronaldo, no one cares. I don't know. I don't know. I believe
he announced that he doesn't want to like stay in the.
He doesn't want to, but I believe he is still there. Yeah, he is still at Al Nassr.
Yeah.
All right, Danny, we're going to ask you a question that Nate, Brooks, and I debated last week.
Why are you so good looking? Wait, what?
Yes,
Which one?
that's what we debated while he wasn't listening or watching.
Oh,
I
Yes.
exfoliate.
wait, huh?
All right.
Exfoliate.
Yeah.
Knew it. I
Exfoliate.
told you it was the exfoliating.
You did actually say that. I think that's in the group chat. We'll
I
have
don't
to
even know what
screenshot
that means.
it. Neither do I. That's probably why we
my
are
God.
looking.
I'm
the way we do.
Googling it now.
Yeah. All right, Danny. If I give you $1 million, you can walk away with that $1 million. Or you can bet it on Man City winning the treble. And if they win the treble, you'll get $24 million. What are you doing?
I took the $1 million because I said they're not winning the treble because of Eggman.
Oh, it's such a tough one. Yeah, I'm taking the $1 million.
Because you don't think they're going to win the treble, or you just want to walk away with $1 million?
Eggman.
A, I want to walk away with $1 million. B, I've got every single finger crossed, toe crossed that they're not going to win the treble because I can't stomach it.
Okay, so what are they going to win out of the three? So they're going to win the Premiership. I think we're all resigned to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
they're
they're
going to
gonna
win the
win. They're gonna
Premiership.
win the
They've
league,
pretty much, I think they will. Joking aside, I
Arsenal
think they'll win
lost
it
the
next
title
week.
today.
Yeah, Arsenal lost the title today. I think next week, this time.
No, hold on.
We're talking.
They lost the title and they tied Southampton. So-
Well,
Well, yeah, I
but
think today was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
do they win the FA Cup, and do they win any of them? Well, besides the Premiership, do they win the Champions League, and do they? You think that Real
Just-
Madrid will go on?
Honestly, I think it's the FA Cup final. It's the darling competition of British football, of English football, right? And
It's 4 days before the Champions League.
No, it's a week. I think it's January 3rd or January 4th.
and I think there's
The,
just
the
so
Champions League's January 10th.
I think there's just so much. It's the first Manchester derby in FA Cup final. You know, it's glued to it. And I do actually think United have got a very good chance of winning that final, based off the way we played City last time. Again, it's a double-edged blade really for me. I hope. I'm going back to we'll talk about the relegation battle in a minute, but I really hope Leicester can get 3 points tomorrow night against Liverpool, because then we need a win against Bournemouth to secure top 4. We can start to rest a couple of players for that final. So it's again, everything's intertwined, everything's interconnected.
So speaking of rest, you're Pep, you're bald, less attractive, no arm sleeves, not as good as a coach.
So
And hold on,
Oh,
in
going.
7 days you have one of the biggest finals in history because your team has never won the Champions League. And you have the FA Cup that day. Do you play your starters, risking against a division rival, a heavy rival,
City rival.
city rival? Yeah, I said city rival, at a fear that if Ernie Haaland takes a knock against a Varane, who's you're up 2-0 and he just gets a pop shot in because screw it,
Would you want to lose that FA Cup final to Manchester United?
I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to risk losing a marquee player in the biggest match in club history where I have a chance to winning it. How do you do that? How do you sell that, right? Because a city rival, emotions are high. You take the lead 2-0, you take the lead 3-0, and it's going to be getting change time, right? Because it's happened before, right?
Yeah.
Tell me it hasn't happened before. And so you get Highland comes up with a knock, or De Bruyne goes down because he gets clipped and he's not 100% in the game that really, really matters, and you have to sell I went all for the FA Cup at risk of losing the Champions League. Do you risk that?
I will.
That's a
give
question
you-
to him.
I know.
That's a question to him.
I'm going to help him here.
He's thinking. And he's going to reply with a really smart answer and a great accent.
They play Real Madrid in 3 days' time.
Yeah, got that.
Haaland played today
I understand that. But
against Everton.
yeah, but they're still chasing the league a little bit now.
This is true.
Okay.
This is true.
I think if they've got the league wrapped up,
League's wrapped up.
I think, yeah, the league's wrapped up. I think he's got difficult choices to make, and again, it goes back to his man management style. Does he leave players out? Potentially. I mean, potentially. I wouldn't want to go into that City rival in a big FA Cup final with Haaland at centre forward and Varane, and somebody kicking the crap out of me 4 days, 5 days before a major Champions League final that he has to win.
A one Harry Maguire on his way out, taking out a one Ernie Haaland, going down as a legend. A one Phil Jones, not signing a contract. Here comes Phil Jones up. Why is Phil Jones starting? Oh shit!
I'm waving the white flag because at any cost, I don't care who it is. We know they're gonna win the league. Chelsea are not gonna spoil that. Nobody else is gonna spoil that.
That's a down and over. Yep.
I can't comprehend it because you've got people like pundits on TV, Jamie Carragher and all that sort of stuff going, if City win the treble, it's a greater accomplishment than Manchester United in '99, which is absolute nonsense.
It's the same. It's the same.
It's the same.
Same.
It's the greatest achievement in club football.
Absolutely.
It's unmatched. It's unparalleled.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on here for hours about the fact that Man United played a Premier League opponent in every round of the FA Cup when they won it in '99.
Mm-hmm.
So City didn't do that this year. So we can swings around about it. It's still a great accomplishment either way. I can't stomach it because I'm a Man United fan. I just can't. So that's why I'm going down to Soccer World tomorrow, and I'm buying every Real Madrid kit possible I'm on just for good measure.
You're wasting your money.
Tell them We Are Soccer sent you.
It's gonna be the Italian team.
I do want to quickly.
Man always wins.
Yeah, I do want to quickly remind everybody to go ahead and visit our partners at Soccer World. Please follow them on all their social channels and visit them at soccerworld.net. If you are looking for Real Madrid or a Man City or a Man United jersey, they do have every single one. And as Nate found out, they can be personalized. They can put names and numbers on the back right in the store. Brilliant. Soccerworld.net. Also, Next Level Training. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Some of the best trainers, not only here in Michigan, but in the nation. And then Dog and Pony Show Brewing in Oak Park, Michigan. Lovely beer.
And don't forget, when you go into We Are Soccer, you can buy your friend a jersey and get his name put on it of the team that he doesn't like. Hypothetically speaking. Hi, Craig.
Is it my nope? Nope, not gonna do it.
It has your name on it, though.
Yeah. It will
I'm gonna frame it and put it back here.
The funny thing is, we're talking about the treble. We're talking about the Champions League final, which is on June 10th, a Saturday. By the way, probably the latest it's ever been played because of the World Cup pushing everything back. The FA Cup final is June 3rd at Wembley, Saturday. We don't know. We know two things for sure, that Man United and Man City are playing June 3rd in the FA Cup final. We don't know who's playing in the Champions League final. So Man City could be out.
That's not true. I do.
The Eggman. The Eggman. See, Danny, I don't know how to deal with this Eggman thing.
I mean, have any of our viewers tonight seen this Eggman thing?
No, it's him. He's the only one.
Maybe it was just a fever dream I had. Maybe it was me actually smashing eggs into a pan in the morning.
He was making that imaginary birthday cake when he was sleepwalking.
Yeah, exactly. He does do a lot of cooking and other weird things, so you never know.
He eats food. It's strange.
Yeah, God.
I have 4 egg whites and 2 whole eggs every morning with 3 pieces of wheat toast.
I never know if he's joking or if he's just bullshitting.
No, he's not joking.
Is that what he eats?
He's not joking.
No, that's actually my breakfast.
Yeah.
And he has like 6 meals of chicken and rice and broccoli.
Only 4, Danny.
Sounds boring. You sound boring. That sounds boring.
I'm watching Eggman videos and eating my chicken and rice.
Apparently. All right. We do know that Southampton have officially been relegated. They are gone.
Yes, we do.
See ya. Have fun in the championship.
But they tied Arsenal.
Yes, they did.
It's been coming.
It has.
It's been coming for 2 seasons.
I thought
it really
Jesse
has
Marsh
been.
was going to go in there and turn it around.
Yeah, no. Are you, Nate, I don't know if we've talked about this. Are you in any way concerned that we have now taken the Southampton sporting director for the U.S. soccer job?
No.
Because he did
Yeah,
by
but
all accounts, a pretty poor job at Southampton for the last year.
yeah, but you
with
guys,
a lot of
you
other
guys
stuff
are
involved.
English national team fans, and he did a
We are.
stellar job there. I think it shows a difference between running a club and running a national teams, and how you can be good at one and bad at the other. So no, I'm not worried.
He did win. He helped England win the U17 and U20 World Cups, I believe.
Yeah.
So he has done a very good job. The U.S. hierarchy are very high on him at the moment, and he is saying a lot of nice things.
It's
But,
the accent.
but Southampton, probably the accent.
Definitely the accent.
Probably the accent. He's actually Welsh. He's actually Welsh, by the way.
I'll
the
bet so.
Still a nice accent compared to an American accent. All right. With that being said,
What are you saying? But what do you don't like American? Middlesbrough.
God, Jesus, Middlesbrough. He's gonna say Leicester.
Yeah,
in a minute as
Leicester,
well,
in
right?
Middlesbrough.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord.
Middle-
This is what we deal with, folks. Leicester, as you would call them, but as the rest of us in the world call them, Leicester City are taking on Liverpool at
Leicester.
home tomorrow.
L-I-E Chester.
Yes.
Leicester.
That game.
Silent E.
Wait, what?
See,
Silent E.
No, it's there. It's in the. You can't. It's there.
It's silent.
Germany doesn't have silent letters. We got
I
the
love
umlaut.
I love it when Americans try to pronounce Worcestershire.
Yeah, Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah. See. Yeah. This is. I mean, we could go on all day.
Yes, we could.
We got a Boddingtons too.
Oh, Boddingtons. I'd walk back to England for a Boddingtons.
Yeah.
Oh my
that would
God.
That'd be good.
That's what Greg needs to.
Yeah, I do need that in the fridge. You're right.
Greg needs
That
to
would.
Actually,
Good call.
Dog and Pony does have a pills that does taste like a Boddingtons.
Yes, they do. So Leicester tomorrow take on Liverpool. Let's take a quick look at the EPL table, boys. Leicester right now are in 19th on 30 points. If they can somehow manage a win, which I don't think they will, to be honest, they would get to 33 points and pull themselves out of the relegation battle, sinking Leeds and Everton down into it. I really want to see Leeds and Everton go.
I don't, because every American is playing for Leeds right now. So I want.
I mean, that's true, but I haven't been a fan of Leeds. I don't like what they've done. Their club in the past 20 years has just been a bit off. They had a fan come on the field the other day and confront Eddie Howe at the Newcastle match. That's how a lot of their fans are. I want to see Leeds dumped out of the league. I would like to see them put into the championship. Goodbye. I would love to see Leicester City survive. I would love to see it. I think it's a weird. With the amount of talent they have,
I kind of want to see
it's
it.
crazy to see that they're going to get relegated. I think the team that's got Ashley Barnes, Madison, and Jamie Vardy just relegated, it boggles my mind, to be honest. I really hope they pull it out, but unfortunately, I see Liverpool winning tomorrow and beating them very easily, because Liverpool, who currently sit in 5th right now on 62 points, they're looking. They have expectations of getting to 4th. I don't think that happens at all. I think they fall short, but they do want to keep on a hold of that 5th place in the league. But boys, the table is up. Southampton relegated, Leicester City 19, Leeds 18, Everton 17. Nottingham Forest, who drew Chelsea, are on 34 points at 16. The magic number this year, they're saying, is 35, and it looks like that is what's going to happen. I think even Nottingham Forest on 34 is safe. Yeah, Danny, go ahead.
So let's look at this, right? So we're all in agreement that Forest, Everton, Leeds, and Leicester are the 4, right?
Yes, sir.
So for me, I'm going to say Forest and Leicester will join Southampton, and Everton and Leeds surviving. Interestingly enough, let's say Liverpool beat Leicester tomorrow. Interestingly, if this goes to the final day of the season, all 4 of those teams play at home.
Yeah.
Forest play Palace at home, Everton play Bournemouth at home, Leeds play Spurs at home, and Leicester play West Ham at home on the final day of the season.
They all play teams that have nothing to play for.
Right.
The only team that have something to play for would be Spurs, who could probably just hold on to a European spot at 6th or 7th. Other than that, West Ham, completely safe, not going anywhere. Bournemouth, completely safe, not going anywhere. And what was the other one you said? Was that it?
Leicester, West Ham.
So Spurs would be the only one to play for something to play for in that out of the teams
West
that are
Ham's
visiting.
safe, right?
Yeah, West Ham are safe. Absolutely. On 37 points. There's no way. That would require Leeds to win 2 games in the next 3. They've won 6. They've won 7 games out of 36. They're not winning 2 out of the next 3.
I just look at those games. I mean, Arsenal are going to bounce back against Forest. You'd hope, may or may not. But they're going to try and take it to the wire. But title could be over by then.
I think the title will be over, but they think they'll be playing for pride, and then with no pressure on their shoulders. Do you think that Arsenal just play free-flowing football and have fun and probably take it? But Forest would have something to play for.
Yeah, I see. I mean, Everton at Wolves. I mean, that's a difficult place to go to, But I don't know. I think Everton will survive. I think Big Sam will help Leeds survive.
And he'll get that £3 million bonus that's been talked about.
Yeah, I think he'll just get them out of it. And interestingly enough, I think Forest and Leicester will go with Southampton.
I really want to see Everton go. I mean, they flirted with.
It's interesting. Everton I think Everton have never been relegated.
100% correct. They have
never
never been relegated.
The last 2-3 years, they've
never
been
been
flirting with it so much. It's kind of like.
Well, it's a poorly run club, isn't it?
Yeah, it's to kind of get your shit together. See ya.
You know what the funny thing is about Everton? One, like you said, Danny, they've never been relegated, but they have mismanaged money so poorly in the last several years that they deserve to be relegated, in my opinion. And they've trumped up a ton of money for the new stadium, which opens not next season, but the season after. Mm-hmm. They fall down into the championship. That stadium plan will have to be put on hold because they're not going to be bringing in as much money. I really hope Everton get relegated. Sorry to Everton fans, especially our fan Craig Beebe, who watches the show.
Big club going.
It really is.
Really big.
But you know what? I don't think American fans realize how big Everton is.
Oh, it's massive. Everton's a massive club.
Yeah.
League winners, multiple occasions, FA Cup winners. Yep. Beat Man United in '85, I think, something like that. Just massive, massive club.
They are.
Them getting relegated for the first time in their history, that's huge.
That could actually kill that club. They could do a Sunderland, drop down another league or 2 because they've got so much money wrapped up in other things. They've mismanaged their club and the money being brought in so poorly. It could just be catastrophe for that club for the next 3-4 years.
How much was the new stadium?
It's close to $1 billion. Has to
Really?
be. I want to say it's about 7 to 8. I want to say £700 million, but by the time it's all said and done, you're going to be close to £1 billion.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. So this is going to be a horrible thing to put you on the spot, Danny. But so Southampton gone. Who's the next 2 you want to see?
Gone?
Yeah. Who do you want to see relegated? So I'm going to ask the opinion.
Selfishly, I want Leicester gone because I think James Maddison is he's Premier League material, and I love him at Man United.
I thought you were going to go the other way and say I don't like him and he's trash, but
no,
he is Premier League
Madison
material.
is Premier League material.
Absolutely.
I'd love him at Man United.
The rumor is he's on his way to Liverpool, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's the rumor.
Well,
but
Liverpool are going after everybody in their sundry right now. With Mason Mount and everybody.
Yep.
So
they will get all the players because they have a rich history of success this last year or 2.
They do have a rich history of success as a club, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, so you'd like to see Leicester gone so you could reap the rewards of some of those players like an Ashley Barnes, Iheanacho,
there's a couple
Madison.
Of players at Leicester,
Absolutely.
To be honest, I don't like to see any team get relegated.
No, but it has to happen, right?
I think Leicester will go, and I think Forest will go.
You think Forest will drop down? So I mean,
do.
they've got to pick up no points out of the next 3 essentially, and then you've got to. What you're saying is Leicester. It doesn't matter about Leicester, but Leeds. You're saying Leeds will find 4 points because actually they only need to find 3 on goal difference.
I think Leeds will beat Spurs at home on final day of the season.
Ooh, that's a big
really
one.
Do.
It could be Harry Kane's last game at Tottenham, and he may want to.
I think it will be. But
I think it should be.
His farewell to United, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
All right, you two still think he's on his way to United,
Absolutely.
Huh? Okay.
I think it's done.
You think it's a done deal? They're just waiting at this point to announce it?
You got to think about which clubs. If it's all, I always boil it down to if he wants to stay in England, which club needs a striker, absolutely can afford one, and that is actually semi-successful without one.
Chelsea need a forward, but he's not. He won't. He won't go to Chelsea.
He won't go to Chelsea. He won't
go to another North London.
Yeah, he won't do it in North London club.
You're not playing in Champions League.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So what's the point of changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I personally think still, it'll wait till the last day of the transfer, but I still think it'll be Bayern Munich. I think he'll find a way to
I
Bayern
think
Munich.
it depends.
You
if
think
he
he's going to
wants
give up
stay.
that? You think he's going to give up Alan Shearer's record of 260 goals in the Premier League just to go to Bayern Munich?
Yeah, so to keep his status of legendary hero
You think he's
in
gonna
the
do that?
Premiership.
If it boils down to whether or not he wants to stay in England or not. If he wants to stay in England, he's going to United. If he says I just want to win trophies and guaranteed trophies, he'll go to Munich. But it depends. Like you just brought up Alan Shearer's record, and there's a cultural difference there. It's completely, believe it or not, they're different cultures, countries, Craig.
No, wait, what? Get out
Yeah,
of here.
I researched this, and apparently
I researched this. Good research, Nate.
they speak different languages. But no, I mean, so it's and sometimes, especially when you're late in your career, making a culture or country jump like that is not suitable. You know what I mean for you. Again, but it just boils down to what is it that is most important to him.
I think
Guaranteed
It's not.
trophy
If
or
you look at
record?
if you look at the evolution of English football, there's not been many Premier League footballers that have gone abroad. Not many.
right, but
Good ones, and I mean really good players.
some of the top ones don't.
Some of the top ones don't. I mean, Beckham went to Madrid, but
That was for
So
other reasons.
English Premier League players, yes. Well,
English players,
English.
England born.
Yeah, sorry,
England born.
England born.
Yeah.
Premier League footballers generally don't go abroad.
Nope. Unless you aren't getting playing time because you're 18 and you're like really good, and then you're like Jude Bellingham.
Well, there is. Well, no. I think established England stars.
Established.
Yeah.
Established
Say,
England-born
established.
players.
Yeah.
I think so. The players that have gone abroad do it for a reason because they don't want to jump to another club and ruin their legendary status at current club.
Beckham was never going to any other Premier League club.
No, it was never
When
going to
United
happen.
through and
He
through.
had other intentions, right?
Established English captain,
Yeah.
went to Madrid.
Right.
Michael Owen he did go to United when he came back, but I think that was
to the tail end of
you
the
know,
career, right?
tail end of the
And he
career,
wanted to
you
win
know.
a trophy.
Yeah. So I mean,
He did win trophies at Liverpool.
No,
didn't win the Premier League though. Won it at Man
that's
United.
the one he wanted to win.
He did not.
But I don't see him going. I don't see him going to Munich. Spurs have got huge problems. Huge problems. He's not staying at Spurs.
Why not?
No manager wants him.
Why wouldn't you want to stay in Spurs?
Nagelsmann is not going to Spurs.
Nagelsmann
No
dropped
shit,
out.
because
Nagelsmann
he's-
No
dropped
manager
out
wants to
yesterday,
touch
yeah.
that club.
Yeah.
And even if they do, they're out in 12 months. So
Hold on, boys. I want to get to that.
We,
I want to get.
we mutually decided not to pursue him. He went, no.
I do want to talk about the Spurs and the Chelsea job if we come back from a break in a couple
Which
of minutes.
shit show is
but
worse?
let's finish the Harry Kane piece right now. Listen, there's one club we haven't mentioned that does have money that does need a star striker. Newcastle. I think that, and guess where they're going to be playing next year? Could be in the Champions League.
I think Ronaldo goes back to. I think Ronaldo goes to Newcastle.
You think Ronaldo goes to Newcastle?
the hell is in that Yeti?
Yeah, seriously. How strong is that dog and pony?
And
bro-
I'm
Dude.
the one.
Right.
I'm the one in the straight jacket. Not that he wouldn't want to go to Newcastle, but you think Newcastle's like, that's our guy.
Ronaldo. Yeah.
We want
What?
him. What about that? Was it Osamendi in Napoli that's learning English right him? Nah,
No,
we're
that-
good.
Yeah.
Him.
The 38-year-old who failed
He's
out of the
the one.
Premiership.
Hey, he's leaving Al Nassr. He's going somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, MLS or Canadian League.
The Canadian, yes, the Canadian Premiership League. Yes, that's where Ronaldo.
He's going to pave the way.
I do, but in all honesty, I do think with Newcastle and the amount of money they do have, they are going to be in Champions League. Why not? Why not? If you go far enough away, so Spurs fans, they go, oh God, Man United. Oh no, geez, we hate Man United. We hate Arsenal, obviously. We hate Chelsea. We hate Man City. We hate X club X. Newcastle. Well, I don't care about Newcastle.
I don't think
They
the
don't
fans.
care.
I don't think
They
the
don't care.
fans are the ones pulling the trigger here.
No, they're not. But after his career's done, he goes back there, and like most footballers, where did they go? They go back to the club they had the greatest success in their career, and they go to every game and they become pundits and they
Really?
become this.
Is that what Van Persie did with Arsenal?
I know we're going to commercial break in a second, right? But I just want to say this. RVP.
Yeah, oh no, that was towards the end.
Harry Kane comes this year this season, so this season's already over, but if he comes last August, Eric Ten Hag, first season, Ronaldo leaves.
Yeah.
United are challenging for a title.
I don't know. Anthony Martial and his 5 goals are pretty solid.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Waghorse? Craig loves him some Waghorse.
Yeah.
That's not even his name.
Harry Kane at Manchester United this season, they're challenging for the title.
Agreed. I 100% agree with you. I think if they get him next year, they are finishing second or third. I don't think they still don't have what it takes to beat City, but I like where it's going. Trust me, I get it. I'm going to say I just think he's going to look at everything and go, if I go to United, everybody at Tottenham, all my friends, all the fans, everybody who's loved me is going to go, we now hate you. But if I go to Newcastle, they're not going to feel that ill about it. And if I go to Bayern Munich, everybody's going to go, he went to a foreign league to win a title, and then maybe towards the end of his career come back. That's it. All right, boys, I'm not even going to let you give a response to that. What we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of a refreshment break. We're going to be back in 5 minutes, guys. Listen, get yourself a new drink. I need to do that. I've got one Dog and Pony Show Brewing beer in the fridge here. I'm going to fill up. Get yourself a drink. Come back. Join in the conversation. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. Put your thoughts in. We're going to read some of those off. But until then, go ahead and watch some fun videos.
Tempo, yes, yes, drop out, good, yes, touch, play, right foot, yes, scan, good, touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan, yes, Jay, well done, good side on, touch, play, see it, yes.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just gonna do some light shopping. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
Club America. Ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Cool.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump.
Next to line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh?
It's a mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to We Are Soccer. You know what? I got these fancy little buttons that do things. So
You don't push the buttons enough, Craig. I just feel like I'm like about to go dancing.
I feel like when you guys talk about United, I should be using this one. And if that hurts your ears, I apologize, but that's how I feel when they talk about United. All right, so listen, there's 2 dumpster fires in London at the moment.
Dumpster fire!
And we've debated this several times over the last several months. Which is the bigger dumpster fire? Is it Chelsea or is it Spurs? I mean, one of them now has a manager. Pochettino has officially agreed to become Chelsea's manager starting in the summer. I believe the first day that the season is over, he'll be the manager. Frank Lampard will be out. But the amount of money that Chelsea has spent in the past 12 months is absolutely ludicrous. They are in the 700 to 800 million pound range of spending money. That is ridiculous. Spurs currently, for as bad and poorly as they have seemed to have done, they're still 5th in the table. They are still fighting for a Champions League spot, but they are without a manager. Yesterday, they went to Villa Park and looked horrific, just horrific. 2-1 win, 2-1 loss for them. All right, Danny, Nate, bigger dumpster fire: Chelsea, who now has a manager, or Spurs without a manager and in 5th. Who's the biggest dumpster fire?
You want to take this one?
I mean, honestly, I think it's Spurs. Because Pochettino's going to have to walk in and go, listen.
No, Pochettino's going to
Chelsea.
To Chelsea.
That's what I mean.
Yep.
So
okay, sorry.
Yes. So didn't got that wrong. I know where he's going, but he has to walk into Chelsea, to be clear, and be like, listen, you spent a lot of money. Now you got to lose a lot of money by clearing some of these guys out, because they got talent there. They absolutely got talent, and they got talent coming in. But the problem is when you got so much talent sitting in the locker room that's not playing, and you bought basically the same players over and over and over again, you're playing Football Manager, like you said. He doesn't have a team. He has a bunch of guys that he bought, and a toxic dressing room when you sit there and buy your players as replacements and then don't move them along, and then they sit there. It turns into a toxic environment. So they have to, and they're going to take a bath on every one of these guys that they sell, because they just got to get rid of them. And if they can convince Bowley that, yeah, you're going to take a bath here, I think he could write it. You know what I mean?
It's not only that. He spent so much money, and he's brought in so many players.
He's got more coming in.
Yeah, and he's got the lad from
Nkunku.
Yeah, Nkunku.
Yeah, he's coming in from
who's a stud.
Yeah, he's
who
really
plays the same spot as.
He still has
Juan
Lukaku,
Felix.
by the way, out on loan, and Lukaku has no desire to come back.
He's just got. For me personally, the Spurs is a small problem in comparison to Chelsea's problem because of the enlarged squad. The problems that he has with Mason Mount's contract, Lukaku coming back from Inter Milan, what does he do with him? And like Nate said, he is going to have to take a bath on those players, and I don't think it's a quick fix, because Pochettino is going to want his own set of players as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And that I'm assuming under the premise of the fact that he sat down with Bowley and he said, "Look, I'm coming in. I want total control. I'm not gonna end up like Frank Lampard and these guys before me. I want total control." So those 30 players, he's got to trim that playing squad down to 22, 23 players. So you're putting seven players out the door that you're going to take a bath on.
You do have talent that is valuable. Like, if you're going to sell Kai Havertz, you could absolutely sell him to several clubs, I think. And if you have bidders, you can drive that price up a little bit, but you're going to end up taking a bath no matter what, because people know you want to sell. But you do have players to sell. You do have talent. Where I look at Spurs, and after they lose Harry Kane, I think they're in trouble talent-wise. I don't know what you do there. Maybe you buy players from Chelsea.
It's actually
a task. Chelsea is a task, and it's going to be a task that's going to be done over a number of windows. It's not going to take one, because you're not going to sell all those. You're not going to offload all those players that he doesn't want in a window.
No. And then who do you sell to? Like, because who's going to be in the club and who's just there collecting a check. That's going to take you a couple months to figure out.
I do. Before we go any further, Pablo just chimed in on the comments here and said Osimhen has renewed his contract with Napoli. He's staying.
Oh my God!
I
I've never seen a player renew their contract and never go anywhere. Holy crap!
Well,
Danny, that usually means he's a life.
It means he's going for a bigger fee.
exactly.
What?
So what?
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. No.
So what
Is that a
they've
new
done.
development? That's a new development, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
So just so everybody who's aware, most likely what's happened is he signed a new contract for, let's just say, an extended year, more wages now, but put in a clause. The club have put in a clause saying we're not going to sell you for less than X, which is probably 120, probably around there.
He's probably worth 120.
Oh,
He's definitely
absolutely.
worth 120.
He's 23. He
So,
scores
I mean,
goals like in the bunches. Yeah. So, Pablo, I agree with your first statement. He signed a new contract, but your second statement of he's staying, no. There's no way he's staying at Napoli.
So-
yes, they won the Serie A this year, but no, he is going. He will find his way to one of the top 5 clubs, top 10 clubs
There's
in the
quite a
world.
few strikers up for grabs this
There
summer.
is.
Yeah,
There
but
really
there's
is.
not a lot of world-class strikers out there. If you really think
Not
about it.
after Kane and Osimhen.
Yeah.
What about the young lad from? Is he playing in Germany now? The Hugland?
Hoogland.
Or is it? It's not. It's pronounced Howland, or it's like Haaland, but it's not. Young lad, Swiss maybe.
We'll have to look that one up.
I forget his name.
Not in
There's-
Germany.
There's a couple of strikers, which doesn't happen very often, and they are going to be moving. I think there's going to be a ton of transfers this summer, and it's going to be fun to watch.
So
Okay,
with
but-
Osimhen, I don't know. It's not like maybe he stays, maybe he goes. I do know that 2 months ago there was a report that said, yes, hey, I want to go play in the Premier League, and I'm
Yes.
learning English. So whether that means next transfer window or 2-3 later, there's definitely a desire for him to come to England.
Now,
There's only a number of places you can go though.
right, there's
it's
not a
like
lot of
Kane,
teams who can
yeah.
afford him. There's not a lot of teams who can
That
afford
would-
him.
I mean, going back to my Ronaldo comment, that might be the Newcastle transfer that they try to get over the line.
Absolutely, they're going to look to get younger because their team is not as young as some of the other teams.
Right.
But let's quickly go back to the dumpster fires of Chelsea and Spurs. They both have different dumpster fires, and they're the complete opposite of each other. One's got an abundance of players. They've spent so much money, they've signed them to such long-term contracts that they got now, and they're bringing in a new coach. They got to get rid of some of these players. Some of these players could say, I'm not going anywhere because anywhere I go, they're not going to be able to be offering me the same amount of money that I'm on here. So I'll just stick around here. Go ahead and stick me playing with the youth team or practicing with the training with the youth team. I'm fine with that. So they got a real problem there. The other problem, on the other hand, is Spurs, who have no players, to be honest. They're going to lose Kane. I think they need to go get a goalie because Hugo Lloris is going to be done this summer. Forster's not a number 1 goalie in the Premiership. Eric Dyer, I'm sorry, but
Backline shaky.
yeah, what?
Backline shaky.
Backline is terrible.
Goalkeeping situation.
Hyun-Min Son is going to be
What?
he's going to be lined up to move out the door because I'm sorry, but he needs to go somewhere where he's valued. He hasn't been playing well for the last year and a half. So all of a sudden now, and you got Richarlison. No one can get the best out of that guy, and you paid £70 million for him. He's taken his shirt off more times than goals he's scored. That club has no manager. And your not majority, but one of the owners, Daniel Levy, is notorious for waiting for transfers to the last minute so he can get the most money and get a bargain sale. It is not going to be a good. I think, to be honest, I don't know which is a bigger dumpster fire. They're both equally as bad, which is fun to watch and fun to talk about.
I think Pochettino's got the bigger job on. I think he's got a bigger job to turn that around. I think whoever comes in for Tottenham, if Harry Kane goes, then it's a complete rebuild. You know, they still have to offload players.
Yeah,
because some of those players are not good enough.
One's a build, one's a tear down.
Yeah, one's a
Yeah.
build, one's a tear down. Absolutely. That's what it is. It's the complete opposite of each other, and it's fun to watch. They're both huge jobs. They're both big jobs for the person coming in, but they're actually, in the scheme of world soccer, they're both really big jobs.
I mean, mathematically, mathematically, Spurs can't
clubs.
make the Champions League. So,
Yes.
you know, you're looking at Europa League, maybe Europa League Conference. Does that
The working man's league is
Yeah,
what
does
we like
that-
to call it.
does that inhibit them from being able to
Yes.
go forward.
Yes,
I
that
don't know,
inhibits them
the
from the amount of
Europa
money they
tro-
can spend.
The Europa Trophy is very nice looking nowadays, and it attracts the finest talent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at West Ham this year. They were involved in the Europa League conference. Obviously, they're still in the semi-final, right?
Yeah,
And
they are actually the one, I believe. So
No, the final's coming up for West Ham. They are in the final.
they're in the
But-
semi-final, right? 2-1 from the first leg.
yeah,
Yes, they're in the
yeah, that's what I meant. They
on
won,
their
they
way
won
to
their
the
first
final.
game.
Correct.
Their league play suffered.
And that's what I want to talk about next. That's what I want to talk about because in the last 2 years, West Ham have been a club in the top 7. And everybody thought David Moyes has taken a team and just turned this club and team around, and they are unbelievable. And now they're in the Europa Conference League in the semifinal, leading on their way to the final. But their form in the league
But-
has
But
absolutely
if you
suffered.
win the conference, you get into the Europa, right? And if you win the Europa, you get in the Champions League, and you do the Frankfurt.
They almost got relegated. They've been playing that poor this year.
Almost.
They were almost.
doesn't count.
They could still be, I believe, if we look at the table, there's still a mathematical possibility for them to be relegated. I would rather my team miss, and that's one of the things I've had a conversation with Villa fans in the past couple of months. Would I want to make Europa Conference League right now as a Villa fan? Or would I rather miss out and then just focus next year on it, saying, next year we can buy a couple players in this window and the next January window and gear towards making that or the Europa League.
Well, I think you get it anyway, right? So if
But I don't want to make Europa Conference League next year and then have my form in the league suffer and finish 15th. I don't want that.
if Tottenham finish 5th
Yeah.
and Villa finish 6th
Yeah.
and United win the FA Cup,
Yeah.
I think Villa get it. I think Villa get Europa League.
Yes, but where you're wrong there is Man United are not going to win the FA Cup.
And Villa's probably going to drop to like 8th.
You mean stay in 8th because that's where they're currently
We're
at.
speaking
10th.
purely hypothetical, and he still went off on me about Manchester United.
I mean, he's a scorn lover. Someone hurt
I mean,
him.
we're going back to the David Moyes issue.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna sing from the rooftops right now. That just underlines how good a job Eric Ten Hag has done this season with the loaded competitions that they've been in
Yep.
a league position that he's in.
Oh, I 100% think he has done a phenomenal job with the team he inherited and came in and did. And it comes down to man management.
He
I think
inherited.
he inherited a very good team, but they were not a team. They were just a bunch of individuals last year.
He
They were terrible.
inherited Casemiro, and Eriksson, and Anthony.
No, Anthony was a terrible purchase, in my opinion. Sancho, was
He
nowhere to be
was
found.
Statistically the same as Grealish, but okay.
They both do different jobs. Trust me.
Yeah, they both play on the outside. The one's
I
on the
think
left,
Eric
one's
Ten
on the
Hag
right.
has done a phenomenal job
I think Anthony's been a great signing.
Yeah, he's
for
not bad.
90 million pounds.
You
It
have
wasn't
no
90 million
forward
pounds, it was
target.
90 million euros. So it's a hell of
Okay.
a lot different than 90 million pounds.
I think if you went to
They
sell
don't
him,
accept pounds and
if you went to sell him tomorrow, you'd get 40 if you're lucky. If anybody wants him.
hold on.
I think
Wouldn't
he's
be in
I
Premiership.
think he's a good young player. I
I
think
think-
his output this year has been absolutely terrific. you
I
know?
think the best job that Eric Ten Hag has done with a player is one Rashford, right? I mean, the way he got his confidence up and back in scoring, he has done a stunning job with Rashford. But
According to
Sancho was, where was he last year? He was just down and out, didn't do. This year, Sancho has looked like a player towards the back end of the season here.
Sancho's
According to FootMob, Anthony would be 74 million,
It's
So-
FOTMOB.
and he's 74 million according to this. You are wrong, sir.
I wouldn't pay anywhere close to
According
that.
to this, his market value is 74 million.
Sancho.
So you overpaid for him,
Sancho's issue.
No. That's his market value.
and you purchased him for more than that.
Yeah, usually the market. That's the.
So you
that's it.
lost money on him.
No, because that's the value, and then the value is in the eye of the beholder, and what. And
You value him very much. No one else does.
So
It's
if I have this
65
bottle of
it was
water, and
65 million quid, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
65 million quid. So
We can
77 million euros.
Yeah,
something
sure.
like
I
So-
don't. I don't think he is. And I've said this before, and I get stick for it. But I don't think he's a Man United type of player. To me, he's not the quality that Man United should have. Man United are a top 3 club in the world, right?
doesn't he play for the Brazilian national team?
I don't think he's that good. I think Man United could find better players
I'll
to
tell you
play.
what, I was talking to me. I'd give a shout out to my dad actually. I was talking to my dad about this a couple of weeks ago.
Wait, hold on. Is your dad as good looking as you?
Maybe.
Must be same gene pool. Must be.
damn.
Must be.
That's a family tree right
My
there.
dad sat next to me right here. Just little- forget that one. I was just talking to my dad about this the other day, about Anthony, and how his output this year for being the player that he is, frustrated me at times because his end product was crap.
Yes.
It was really poor.
Mhm.
But an 18-year-old, 19-year-old Ronaldo did the same thing. His end product was poor as a winger. In his first couple of seasons at Man United, his end product was poor. I'm not saying that Anthony's going to be anywhere near Ronaldo. What I'm saying is, you've got to give this lad time in a new system, in a new league, and he's done all right this year.
Yeah, and I've always argued it's impossible to rate these wingers when you don't have a target in the center that can score.
Wait, we had this conversation with Wout Weghorst, and everybody threw stuff at me and said, I don't know what I'm talking about. Wout Weghorst is such a good player. He's dedicated to the cause.
Did I
he
say
is
that?
our guy.
Who's everyone?
We did have a big argument about that, Wout Weghorst.
I said it was a smart pickup because it basically means nothing. Because if he doesn't perform, then he goes back.
He will be going
Not
back.
to mention, it was the only pickup that they could
Yeah.
have in January because we were under no purchases whatsoever because we're on a 5-month-long ongoing sale that is still continuing right now.
It's bizarre that hasn't gone. There's been more about that.
Can't wait to
right?
get that oil money. Oil!
You know what? You're going to get.
All the players are going to come to United once we get that oil money.
Before we go
We're
any
going to
further,
have all the Bellinghams, all the Osimhen 10 days. Who do you want?
You're about to be muted. You're muted. Yeah, Danny, I do want your opinion.
Fingers off the button. I'm back on.
Yeah, I do want your opinion. There's two serious bidders right now for Man United.
Right.
Jim Ratcliffe.
Not serious.
We know that.
Right.
He's come out this week and said he's willing to put more money in. I believe. Whatever. I just seen him in the news yesterday. And then you've got the oil money, right? We'll just call it
Qatar. You have the
whatever it
country.
is.
You
Oil-
have the
oil money,
Right.
the country of Qatar is bidding on
Which it seems it's divided Man United fans from what I've seen. I don't read
has,
Man
yeah.
United. Now, half of them want the English guy who's a Man United dedicated fan and this.
Well, half of them wanted the English fan, the Sir Jim Radcliffe, the
Yep.
born and bred Manchester lad.
Yes.
They wanted him before
Before the oil money.
they knew
Yeah.
about what he was planning to do with keeping Joel and Avram Glazer.
I was about to say, because his plan is to keep them and have them have a little bit less than half, about a third of the
It's about 25%, I think,
of the
something
club.
like that. and
So
he was
let's
gonna
say
take the
20,
rest.
25%,
Yeah.
right? And
He
because
wants to be the custodian, is the way he's marketing it.
because
to
he
Manchester
can't
United fans.
afford the entire club. He can only afford about 70 to 85%, whatever it is.
His plan is to
Yeah.
buy the Glazers out in the next 3 to 4 years.
But who would you rather have if
Or-
the decision had to be made tomorrow? Who would you rather have as a lifelong Manchester United fan who's grown up in England and understands?
season ticket holder.
Who would you rather have?
Sheikh Jassim.
Yeah, why?
Money.
Money.
We're playing the game now, baby.
Manchester United is not. We talk about dumpster fires. Manchester United is not a quick fix.
Mm-hmm.
The stadium needs to be rebuilt, torn down, built new, whatever it needs to be done. The training complex, the infrastructure needs to be done. That takes money, right? And regardless of what anybody says, Manchester United is one of the biggest, is probably the biggest entity, commercial value, club value in the world.
Sure.
So
Next to Aston Villa.
Real Madrid,
right.
Not Villa?
Barcelona. Oh wait, debt doesn't count, so it's Barcelona who's won.
So
Real Madrid are 1, Barcelona.
You can win the league with debt.
5.
So I want my club to be in the best possible position to compete for trophies, and I want the best stadium in the world. I want the best training ground in the world. Why? Because we're the biggest club in the world, best fan base in the world. Don't care what anybody says. Best stadium I've ever been to. I want the oil
Have
money.
you been to Stuttgart?
Or Villa Park.
No, but we'll go one day.
It's
promise.
they got this things of the tree beers. It's really awesome. And then when you go pee, you can see the game going on.
Honestly, it's like the City treble thing. It turns my stomach. What they've done to my club over 17 years, as a season ticket holder, what they've done to my club, they've bled them dry, and it makes me sick to my stomach. So yeah, selfishly, I want the oil money. I want.
Do
that
you feel
investment.
bad that you're not picking
I think that's
a dedicated fan who you know has the best interest at heart for the club, and you're just picking someone for the money?
No, because he's keeping around what I would consider vermin. I mean, he's keeping around people that have bled that club dry, that don't care about the fans, they don't care about the club.
Oh, 100%. That's easy to see because, as you said, they
So
haven't
he's
redone the stadium. They
keeping-
haven't done the redone anything to do with the training ground, but they have laid out a lot of money for players in the last 10, 12, 17 years.
They haven't laid out money. The
They've
commercial
authorized the
value
money
has
to be laid
generated money. For
They've
them
authorized
to
the
buy
money to be
players.
laid out. But I
they
see where
haven't
you're
put
going.
their own money into the club. They've taken $1 billion out.
Oh yeah, no, they haven't put any of their own money
Right,
in.
exactly.
Yeah, they
Well,
had to get a debt. They had to go into
we
put
talked
the club
about
into
this
debt.
on
Yeah.
we talked about this on the first show that I was on about club owners and money being put into club. You're not making money in a football club. You're just not.
Only when you go to sell. later on in
Statistically
life.
speaking, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
And the thing of it is, I don't feel bad because I hate to say it, unless you're a German club, that's the game that's being played now. If you want to compete with the PSGs, the Madrids, the Barcelonas, the Newcastles, the Cities, and the Chelseas now, you kind of need that backing. It's what it is now. Sorry.
So
Look at Newcastle.
yeah. But,
Newcastle over the last 12 months
It-
got the investment.
Yeah.
Got a great young manager. Got a lot of respect for Eddie Howe.
Yep.
To be honest with you, we'll get to manager of the season.
yep,
in a
I say
minute,
that's going to be
you know.
next on our topic here.
But absolutely, and Newcastle, fantastic fan base. I've been there, St James's Park, and it's what a great
Yeah.
passionate fan base. So I'm happy for them because it's good for English football. But look at the money and the investment. Your good young manager with the backing that they have. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's interesting to hear that point of view. I absolutely get it, and I can't say anything because I'll use my club, Aston Villa. We were owned by Doug Ellis, who was a lifelong, not even a lifelong Villa fan, but a Birmingham resident, and he bought Villa, put a lot of money into it, made us a great club in the 80s and 90s, and then sold to an American, and then the American took us to shit. He sold us to a Chinese businessman who took us to shit, and now what we're owned by is an American and an Egyptian, and the two of them are worth billions upon billions. Nothing compared to oil money, though, but more than Jim Ratcliffe. And I'm thinking the transfer figure that we heard this week, that what they were in town to discuss with Unai Emery is £200 million. And I went, this is brilliant. They're about to give our manager £200 million to buy players this summer. Are you kidding? We are going to have a fantastic season next season. So, and he's not an English. Our owners aren't English. One of them's American, which I live in America, but that's about it. I don't have anything in connection to Egypt. So I get it. I absolutely get it. And were they Villa fans before they bought our club? No. They're doing it because they want a little toy to play with, and then they're hoping, in the next 10, 20 years, whenever it is, maybe to sell and make money.
All the
It's
big
toys.
clubs, all the big clubs, unless you're in Germany, because of rules and regulations, all the big clubs are owned by foreign investors.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
It is.
It
It's
is
a game.
It is
Sorry.
strange. It's strange to see that sale hasn't gone through yet for United. I think the Glazers are just dragging their feet.
They're dragging their feet because I think once Champions League qualification is secured, it adds money value to the club. Commercial value adds.
So do you-
adds money.
It could be the other way around too. It could be, you could be, if you're looking to invest, saying, "Hey, you're not made the Champions League yet. You might get knocked out. That might be less money I'm buying for this club." So it could be a two-way street there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Do you feel that once the season is officially over, maybe that sale will go through and we will see that?
I think
new owners come
I
in?
think we'll hear some. I think personally, me, based off what I know, who I speak to back home, some of the contacts that I have.
Wait,
and all
you
that
got
sort of
friends?
stuff. I do.
And family.
Nice. What's that like?
I have you as a friend.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Uh,
Craig, I didn't know it was my birthday.
I think we'll hear something next week.
think so?
Yeah,
That
I do.
soon?
I
Okay.
think we'll hear something next week about a preferred bidder. And I do think, back channel communication has happened.
Yeah, it's
And I
happening.
think Radcliffe going and the Glazers, Sheikh Jassim calling the Glazers and saying, "Listen, this is what Radcliffe's offered us," and Sheikh Jassim's probably gone, "Well, I'm going to double it, or I'm going to offer this."
I'll offer the extra.
Oh, that's cute.
You know,
Boom.
I'll just throw another $1 billion on there. There you go, get out of the club.
But
you know.
as you said, it is not a small task. There's a lot that's going to need to be done to the stadium, to the training ground, to the team, to be honest. I think there's several players right now in that squad who are not Man United quality and will need to be shipped out.
I
And
think
with,
Phil Jones is 100%
Yes.
quality.
I don't
That
think
guy has survived more transfer windows.
My
than
God.
managers.
He's always injured.
smart man.
Yeah.
Signed a long-term contract. Hey, And
Well-
that's the problem Chelsea are going to have.
20 more
They got-
days.
They got some guys on their hands who are going to be Phil Jones-esque and go,
I'm good.
yeah, I'm just going to hang back here. Where do you want me to? You want to put my locker in the janitor's closet? I'm good. Let's do that because you're still paying me $300 plus a week.
Oh, yeah.
Right? All right, let's jump to something you alluded to there, manager of the year. There's, in my opinion, probably three candidates who could be up for it,
One.
but I think that only one will win it. Go ahead, Nate. I'll let
Well,
you
that's
jump.
generally how a manager
Only one is
of
being
the
considered.
year,
Sorry,
whatever.
only one is being considered.
Usually only
Yes.
one
Who do you
wins
thi-
it.
Who do you think?
Well, it's kind of like we're celebrating the birthday before the day, so it really it depends on what happens, right? Because if City somehow wins a treble, then it's got to be Pep.
Wait, you said he's not a very good manager. You said he's not even close to a
If-
good manager.
If
But you just
If-
awarded him the manager of the year award.
did you hear the if part?
If he wins a treble.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you kind of have to, or am I wrong?
I think, as I said, there's only one
If.
manager right now who the Premiership and everybody's
The answer
considering.
is
It is Pep. I think even if they don't,
No.
even if they
no, I
don't,
disagree.
even if they
with that.
don't win it, they will give it to him.
No, I disagree with that because if you only win the
I don't
league and
want them to.
you lose the FA Cup and you don't win the Champions League, I don't think you're manager of the year. I'm sorry,
This
not with that
has-
squad.
Hold on.
If Pep wins the league,
Yep.
and
That's
doesn't win,
it.
and doesn't win anything else,
No,
and Ten Hag wins the FA Cup, Eric Ten Hag is going to get manager of the season.
exactly.
Good God, I don't even know how I feel about that. Now hold on, because I
Okay,
think
wait. If
manage-
they finish fourth, win two domestic cups, how is he not manager of the year?
we're talking about Premiership manager of the year, not the FA Cup, not the European.
I understand
not
that
the
you
European
took a team
anything
that
else.
wasn't in the Champions League. You finished in
Oh,
the Champions League.
So did Eddie Howe,
Ooh, okay.
with a lot less money and a lot less talent.
And
in my
he won
opinion.
what this year?
Again,
You won
not
what this
outside
year?
the Premiership. Premiership manager of the year.
Yeah, that stuff's factored
It's
into
not.
it, right?
But it's manager of the season.
So
It's not Premiership manager of the season. It's manager of the season for that.
I
Specific
believe it
division.
was most of it's based on the Premiership results. Well, we'll have to
So
we can look that up.
you get top four and then you win two.
You think
trophies, yes.
Eric Ten Hag should win over Roberto De Zerbi and Eddie Howe?
Look at the job. he's had to do.
100%. If
Eric
you win
Ten Hag,
two
job.
with the
trophies,
players he inherited
if
and the
you
money he
win
was at to spend.
the players he inherited.
Wow.
What did he inherit?
So go back to the
Wow.
start.
What did he inherit?
Go back to the
What
start.
did he inherit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go back to the start of the season. Did you think United would finish top four, two domestic trophies?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Hold on, one domestic trophy so far.
No, you didn't.
Let's-
That's
let's-
okay.
we're
Again,
speaking hypothetically
if
because City
if
still haven't won the
if-
Premier League.
if City wins the treble, Pep gets it. Okay, we don't know. It's not the end of the year. If United finish top four and Pep doesn't win the treble and they win two trophies, I would give it to Ten Hag. These are both hypothetical situations because the year ends when?
June 10th.
And the
June
last time I looked, we're in May. So hold on, let me double check. I'm not very good at math. 14th.
Eric
So-
Ten Hag over Roberto De Zerbi or Eddie Howe
Yeah,
right now.
100%.
Wow.
Why is that a wow? Because when
Look
it
at the
mattered,
job.
hold on, when it mattered, and the guy that you're going wow about played them in a final, who won?
Look at the job.
One result?
do.
Okay.
The result that mattered.
Look at the job he's had to do from the start of the season. He's had to take over and inherit that squad.
You inherited
Which
a cancer.
is a good
right? You-
squad. Which is a
you-
good squad.
really
Yeah,
s-
Ronaldo is
good
amazing.
squad.
Really
Yeah,
s-
Ronaldo was amazing.
A really sticky Ronaldo situation in November. He's had to handle an interview that's just decimated the playing squad.
Greenwood on a sexual abuse.
No, that was last year. He didn't. He inherited that. He doesn't have to. He hasn't
That's
had to
what he
do.
said.
He
He
hasn't,
inherited
hasn't had to do anything with that.
He's had to
He hasn't
deal with
do it.
he's had to deal with the uncertainty of the club being sold for 5.5 months of this current season.
Bringing new players when you weren't in Champions League.
2 starting centre backs down in the last 2 months of the season. He's won a trophy. Top 4. They denied him funds in January to strengthen when everybody else did. And he possibly wins 2 trophies and finished top 4 when everybody in their sundry, even pundits, were
And what
writing Man
if
United off.
Newcastle finishes ahead of them?
With no trophies?
Mhm.
Nothing.
So you
Eddie
get
Howe
you get the
Cup.
Carabao Cup, and Eddie Howe has spent him less money, but on less wages with half. I don't think Eric. You swap those two, and I don't think Eric Ten Hag has the management skills or the tactics to do what Eddie Howe did with that squad. That squad that Eric Ten Hag, that Eddie Howe inherited, was terrible. That's a terrible squad. Miguel Almiron is I think, one of the leading goal scorers. Callum Wilson is one of the leading goal scorers at that club.
You know, he's right.
Terrible players.
I got to agree with him. Anthony Martial is world class.
Yeah.
No, but Rashford is, who scored 17 and 12.
He's a winger.
12 and 17.
Look at Chelsea. Chelsea are mid-table without a striker. Man United have had no striker all season, and they're
What do you
fourth.
mean? We got a wag horse.
White Horse is a big lump.
So you don't think? So what I've actually heard is no one has said the Brighton coach at all.
He's played good football, but he took over halfway through the season.
58 points.
I don't
and
think
they're
Graham.
sixth.
No,
right
I don't
now?
think
his
Graham
team.
Potter should get it, Craig.
It's not his team, but he's managed them.
I don't think Graham Potter should get it. He didn't do good.
Graham Potter.
Graham
The other Brighton.
Yeah,
Graham
the other
Potter.
Brighton coach who everybody wants.
Oh.
Graham Potter built that team.
Yeah.
He just took it over.
And Graham Potter couldn't do. He's a terrible manager, by the way, in my opinion. Graham Potter.
How can he be a terrible manager when he's
No,
got
no,
Brighton
no,
to the
no.
level that he got them to? De
I
Zerbi took over. He had nothing to do.
Hold on. I don't think Graham Potter was a horrible manager. I think he got into a situation that was above his head. It's similar to.
Yes, but he also has a 52% or 37% win percentage over the course of his career. It's
too
actually
soon for him.
terrible.
It was like
It
David
absolutely
Moyes
is.
going to Man
That
United.
absolutely
that's
is.
what he's gonna put-
Too soon.
it's the
So
David Moyes
what we're talking
situation.
about, we're talking about Roberto De Zerbi inheriting that team, and then having to navigate through Moises Caicedo wanting to be sold, and then saying no. See, he had to deal with a lot
He
himself.
inherited a great squad.
A good squad. Are you kidding me? Half those players wouldn't fit in a United shirt. They are so bad. You shouldn't want them at your club.
Great squad.
Average
Great
at best.
playing style.
Wait. Just
Great, good playing style.
listen, because right now he's contradicting himself all over the place.
How?
He goes, "You're gonna put Eric Ten Hag over Eddie Howe if Eddie Howe finishes third," but then he wants to put the Brighton manager.
I said,
ahead
how
of
come you
Eric
haven't
Ten Hag
mentioned him?
when Brighton's where?
6?
6, 7.
So, huh? Your logic is all flawed.
No, I said, why haven't you mentioned him? You've just gone straight
Because
to Eric Ten
he's
Hag. That's your
sixth.
consensus.
No, I actually think Eddie Howe's done a great job with that squad.
I think he's done a brilliant
I
job
mean,
with that squad.
the playing style, they're fun to watch, home
Yeah.
and away.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's a great manager. I think he's a great young manager,
But that's not manager of the year.
but not manager of the year.
You haven't accomplished anything. You finished 8th.
Why would Man United was not? It's interesting to me to think
Because nobody thought United at the beginning of the year would be competing in the for a
Nobody.
Champions League spot. We all said Europa. We all said there's a huge freaking task. It's going to be a mountain and a molehill. Even you thought that.
I mean,
You didn't think that. You didn't think they were a top 4 side.
again.
I didn't think they were a top 4 side. Did you think they were a top 4 side? Did you think they were going to win a trophy at all?
No.
Did you think they were going to be an FA final?
No.
Okay, that's why.
If you'd have said to me at the start, of the season, Eric Ten Hag in his first season winning a Carabao Cup, I'd have snapped your arm off and said
Ouch.
thank you. I'll take it.
Oh, okay.
He's won more games in a debut season than any other manager post Sir Alex Ferguson.
Actually, that's
I mean, that's the last 10 years, 12 years.
10 years.
Okay. 4 managers.
He's won a trophy. He's top 4.
Yeah.
He's completely changed the plan. They actually have an identity and a playing style.
He's
Still developing.
He's
but
still developing.
He's still
it, yeah.
developing, but you can see it's different.
I get. Okay. All right.
They're more
That's what I
entertaining to watch.
Yeah. Then what? More entertaining than what?
he can't do it because his
No, I'm no.
He can't do it.
He's like he's got Tourette's of
Yeah,
Manchester United.
Someone hurt him early. I don't know. There was some like abuse going on.
You know what it is, and I love to say this. To
Something lives in his
I
head.
love to say this statement to most fans, Tottenham,
Get 'em.
Arsenal. I'm so happy my club ruined your childhood
Oh,
because
Nah.
the trophies that we have over
1994.
the trophies that we have over that extended period of time ruin most kids' childhoods.
I think Manchester United have ruined soccer in this country because they were the only ones shown here in this country, and that's why most fans or most people now root for Man United. Because unfortunately, they were the only ones, and American fans jump on the bandwagon. So that's why they've got such a big fan base because
they're the most successful, biggest club in the
oh,
world.
Liverpool were
That's why
whoa,
they're
most
huge in India, too.
successful? No, all right, back to
I would
the
say most-
task at hand. Back to the
Successful?
task at hand.
I mean, when you have the
Win
most
what?
trophies out of any.
I've
You're like
English
one
team,
more than
46 trophies in 26 years.
So-
is little.
again.
Just a blip.
Eric Ten Hag has done an absolutely phenomenal job. Yes, but I think compared to, in my opinion, Eddie Howe, and I'm not. Listen. When I do this, I'm trying to distinguish like just pure facts. Like in my opinion, Eddie Howe inherited a team that I think one or two of those players could actually go and play for United. Now, you take any of the United players, I think almost every single one of them would fit and go they would be taken at Newcastle and said, "Yes, we will take you."
But that's not the.
I think the manager job
Who is
that Eddie Howe has done has been absolutely phenomenal with some of the players he has. Like I said, Callum Wilson, Miguel Almiron. Are you kidding? John Joe Shelby left. Sorry, he got rid of that. I won't even want to say the word. Some of the players he has there are less than average, and took that club and took them to third in the table.
I would absolutely take Callum Wilson as a forward right now.
That's because the only person you have is Wout Weghorst, and he's.
And Anthony
Freaking
Montreal.
So who?
There's
your
no way he
manager?
would get over Martial.
Who is your manager of the
Huh?
year and why?
Eddie Howe, because of the club, the team that he took, and I don't think anybody thought, okay, at the beginning of the season, look at the players they've got. Yeah, they're going to get the Champions League for sure, absolutely. I think you would have said they'd be lucky to finish top 10.
He's done a great job. He's done a great job.
You
They're
guys-
entertaining to watch.
Yeah, the level of players you guys have. I mean, how many England international players play for Man United? How many Spanish international players play for? How many Portuguese? How many?
But you could say the
just
same thing about Newcastle. because
No, you
Newcastle
really
start at 11.
can't.
They've still got international players playing for them. It doesn't matter what country they play for. They've still got international. If you're an international footballer,
You've got. I think
you're a
if
good
you-
player, great player. If you're an international footballer,
I mean, if you're playing for Iceland compared to England, there's a difference, right?
Yeah,
If you're playing,
I mean, you have a better chance of
if
winning
you're
something
playing
with
for, if you're playing for Scotland compared to England, there's a big difference. I just think the level of players that one man inherited compared to the other man, what
that's
what
not-
one has done and gotten, and again, Roberto De Zerbi, in my opinion, has done an unbelievable job to get that team
with no doubt.
to 6. And we all thought at the beginning of the year, they just lost their manager. Holy moly, they're never going to be able to do this. Yep, that's the man. And now they're at 6, and you're like, it's incredible.
So
I
every
don't, again,
argument you are using right now, I could absolutely use for Pep not being manager of the year. I could say
I don't think
imagine
Pep
what
should
Eddie-
win it. I don't think Pep should win it, but I think he will because he's going to win the Premiership, and that's how it works. It's the
Traditionally, right?
popular vote.
Traditionally,
Yeah,
you look
it's
at
a popular
you look at
vote.
You look at the Ballon d'Or. You look at the World Player of the Year and all that sort of. Traditionally, it's gone to the player that's won something. Like
Yeah.
we all know that Messi's going to win the Ballon d'Or this year.
Is he?
He won a World Cup, dude.
I mean, I was gonna give it to.
He won the World
Holland.
Cup, and he's about to League
don't know.
win a League Un.
Hold on, though.
title,
Hold on, though.
with-
If-
but no one gives
I
a
mean,
shit.
If you pull the trouble, and Holland with all the goal scoring records, and if he's intricate in that Champions League final,
Well, now one thing they've done with the Ballon d'Or is they've changed it. They've
you're gonna
they've-
have the youth one or whatever.
No, they've changed it. It used to be over the course of the calendar year.
Yeah.
So it used to go from January 1st to December 31st. Now they're doing it, over the course of a season.
Yeah.
So they're changing it. So
and that's what I,
I
mean.
don't know who they're going to give it to because Holland
That's what I'm
probably
saying.
deserves to
You
win
set-
it.
You set a record.
But then Messi is the World Cup winner
Messi-
and really won them the World Cup, right?
Messi gets it, in my opinion.
Is it nostalgia at that point
It's
for
nostalgia.
everybody?
It's nostalgia, but
It is just a
know,
popularity contest. I mean, and I say it like that because it is. I mean, when you have people voting on players, it turns into a bit of a popularity.
Well, we just had a popularity contest here with the
Yeah,
manager of
and
the
we
season.
won.
We won it. So
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who does get that award at the end of the year. It is. I just, again, I don't know how many times to say this. I think Erik ten Hag has done a great job changing the culture at that club. He has done a phenomenal job getting in there, dealing with situations. But for me, I just think someone else did a better job at another club. That's all it is, right? I'm not trying to take anything away.
Oh, no, sure.
I just think that, and again, to be honest, if you said, who would you like to have relegated? I'd say Newcastle. Sorry, David Robertson. Newcastle. I do not like that club. I do not like that club at all. They are a very huge club. They're a massive club. They have great following. But when they went to the second division, their supporters kind of disappeared for a little bit. They think they're bigger than what they are. There was issues. I just don't like that club. I would rather have them relegated. But I think Eddie Howe has done just a really good job. And I don't know, whatever. That's just my opinion. It has nothing to do with any other club or any other manager. Just I think he's done a better job at that club than most managers have done at other clubs. Unai Emery, if he would have started at Villa in August, I think he would be manager of the year. The job he has done since November to now is probably more stunning than what Eddie Howe would have done. But it is what it is, right? We started with Steven Gerrard, and yeah, we'll see if that happens next year. All right, boys, there was some interesting news that happened today, actually. Chelsea, and again, God, Chelsea won a game today.
Woohoo!
But I'm more talking about the record that's involved. And Danny, I want your.
I thought you were talking about the
this.
Chelsea women's team, actually.
Yes, I am.
Oh, nice.
Chelsea women beat Man United. And I don't bring that up for the Man United, but there was a domestic world record set today. 77,390 fans filled the stadium to watch Chelsea versus Man United in a domestic league game. Chelsea officially won, I believe, the women's league. That is a huge deal for the amount of fans they had at that game. Mm-hmm. The game in America here is growing crazy big. NWSL, the women's, let's say youth, 15, 16, 17, 18 is growing. There's more leagues starting up. In England, it has gone nuts the way these teams and clubs are pouring money into the women's game. What are your thoughts on it? And I mean, is it 10 years ago? Who would have thought this coming? Who would have seen this coming?
I mean, you know,
it's good to see.
I'm going to give a little shout out to my niece who's just signed for Man United ladies for the next 23-24 season.
You know what?
Does she know my daughter?
Nate, your daughter's 8.
So I'm.
She is 8.
She's phenomenal, you know, and she's
that's awesome.
You know,
that's good.
She's changed the way that she sleeps and eats and trains, and you know, just watching female players, in the game, and you know, obviously she's a massive Man United fan, so you know that's nice. But no, I think it's great.
You know who's also a massive United fan?
Who?
My daughter.
Yeah.
He cannot get your daughter a trial at Man United.
she's a can't miss talent.
But 10 years from now, there will be better opportunities for her compared to 10 years ago, whereas your niece may not have had that opportunity. Or may have just said, what am I going to go do there? They earn $7 a week. What's the point, right?
I think
now it's there. The opportunity is there.
The women's game is growing in Europe. If you watch the Women's Champions League,
you
watch Barcelona play at the minute, and you know, oh my God, Barcelona-Lyon, I think is the Champions League final, isn't it? It's going to be a cracker.
And every time I look in some of the numbers in Germany, they're always high thousands. You know,
I mean, Barcelona, Real Madrid, I think they had 100,000 at the Camp Nou.
Yep.
For a women's game in La Liga.
Yep.
You know, and that was the sold out FA Cup final today. You know.
Yep.
So
Stuttgart won too. In the women's league.
Okie dokie. Great.
That's
awesome.
I think it's great.
Yeah, it is very good to see the women's game growing, and it can only help our game in general. I know our We Are Soccer Twitter account, we have youth players tagging us and showing their highlight videos, scoring goals and making great saves, and it's changed. That would never have happened years ago. The women's game it's being highlighted. It's fun to watch.
I will say, Craig, and I've been saying this for years, is I think the U.S. women's national team is in trouble because I think the rest of the world is quickly catching up because they're seeing the value of investment, in new markets. And these clubs are all about, that's why they go to India. That's why they do tours in America. That's why they do tours in they're all about expanding brand and expanding market because where they're at, it's tapped out. they saw that as an untapped market, and now the investment's going into it, because with investment you turn a better product, and with better product you make more money. I said something smart. Where's the applause button?
Do you think
That was unusual.
So I have a
I'm sorry, I blacked out. Was I
I have a
talking?
I have a question for the two of you, because obviously I'm biased, and I see what's growing in the women's game, obviously through Man United Women, and then obviously watching the Women's Professional League in England. Do you think at some point that the European Women's League or the European Women's, divisions will be a much more enticable option for young female players than the NWSL?
I think it already is.
I think it was a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago. I think now the NWSL here is making a push for younger talent. So obviously Chloe Ricketts, the young lady who signed out in LA. I think it will be. I think it's going to become almost MLS-esque. So these young talents like Chloe Ricketts are going to come in, play 3-4 years, and then Barcelona, Chelsea, Man United, and I'm going to say Aston Villa, because if you don't know the women's game, I think Villa are like second or third in the division. They're a big club who spend a lot of money, just like Man United and Chelsea. Those teams, those clubs are gonna come and grab these young players here and take them there. So I think it does become a little bit more enticing, and I think it's also these young women have been grown up watching Premiership and the lure of Premiership and of European soccer, and they want to go over there and test themselves against those good players.
I'll tell you what I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to the Women's World Cup this summer.
Absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to that, because I think that
July 23rd, I think that starts. It's in Australia, just so everybody's aware.
I think the US are going to have some real competition at the World Cup this year.
I'm going to say it now. I don't think they win. I don't even. I think they get out of the group stage, but I think they lose into the quarters or semis. I don't think they get past further than that. I think there's so many good clubs nations that have surpassed.
England are fantastic. Germany are very, very good.
Sweden are still good.
Sweden are
The
good.
Swiss
are good.
Brazil is still good. Australia are not bad. There's a lot.
I think they'll be a surprise.
Yeah,
this year.
absolutely. All right, before we go, boys, we only got a couple minutes left. I want to make sure we hit a couple pieces here. La Liga table. Barcelona officially win La Liga. They won today and were run off the field.
It's good to see a small team finally come up.
You mean one of the most successful clubs in the world and one of the richest clubs in the world? Yes.
Team that has sound financial investments.
They did win the La Liga today officially. Another interesting note from La Liga: Elche have officially been relegated. Were officially relegated actually a couple of weeks ago, but today they beat Atletico amazingly. So bottom tier team can beat a top tier team on a day. Nate, here's your Bundesliga table. Your Bundesliga table, my friend. Bayern Munich sit number 1 with 68 points. I absolutely love how it all filters out here. They're all in 32 games. They have a total
So clean, organized, and nice.
It is typical German.
Proper, structured.
Yeah.
So where's the tipping point then for Munich and Dortmund right now?
Where's the tipping point? It's going to be when Munich has to play Leipzig. That will be if they're going to drop points, which is next week, I believe. If they're going to drop points, it's going to be against Leipzig.
Yeah, it's next week. It'll be next week.
Yep.
They have they'll be playing. Was it 36 games? 36.
Yep.
So they do have 4 games left. Actually, it might be the following week. We'll have to double check
So,
that. But Leipzig right now are third on 60
but
points.
you look at who's right behind them, right? So
Union, yeah.
Yeah. So and Union's playing Hoffenheim, and they're going to smack them. So they have to keep pace, because Leipzig is one of those teams with high investment that they can't afford not to play in the Champions League, because they'll lose a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So Union is chasing them. Freiburg is chasing them. They need to win. They need to get points just to try to keep ahead. I think there's potential for Munich to drop there. We will see.
Just quickly to go back to La Liga, Pablo chimed in with a comment. Also, Espanyol funds invaded the field today when Barcelona was celebrating the title. Kind of sad to see that, actually. Not cool from Espanyol fans. But back to Bundesliga. Nate, I did see your team got a draw today. They picked up a valuable point, but unfortunately now they still drop into that bottom 2, buddy.
Because because
Schalke picked up.
When Schalke got pounded, it was Bochum actually did something. And
it was Bochum that got out of there.
beat Augsburg, which they shouldn't have. But you got Harther and Augsburg, and then Leverkusen, and Harther and Bochum, and then Bochum and Leverkusen, and that I think they're going to jump them there. there's still a chance. It's a mountain and a molehill. They can't lose.
How many go down?
2 go down automatically. 1 goes into a playoff battle. They're
So-
1 point out of the playoff battle.
So playoff battle is the 16th team in the Bundesliga plays the 3rd team in Bundesliga 2. They do. It's a home and away, right, Nate?
It's
Or
yeah,
is it just
it's a home
one-
and away.
Home
It's
and away.
Let's leave.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the EFL's playoff system better, right? 3, 4, 5, and 6 play each other.
Right,
It just
yeah,
makes for a frantic end of the season. But
So
You
It
think
is
Stuttgart
interesting.
Stuttgart. Do you think
Stuttgart.
they get
we got
out?
a chance. We got a chance. I mean, that's the thing. You look at Hoffenheim, Bochum, Schalke, and Stuttgart are all separated by basically 3 points. And 15th, 14th, you're safe. 16th, you play that battle there. They play Mainz. They've gotten results out of Mainz, and then they play Hoffenheim in their last game at home, and that could easily be a
Hoffenheim will be hopefully be
6 point.
safe at that point, right?
Well,
and
no,
they don't play.
no, because Hoffenheim is 32. So
Yeah, but at that if they play in the last game, hopefully at that point Hoffenheim are safe
But
and,
that-
have got nothing to play for.
or that's where you jump Hoffenheim on 6 points, and then you go ahead.
I think you'd prefer at that point Hoffenheim to be safe and have nothing to play
Germans
for. You
are,
could just
Germans always have something to play for. They never phone it in, man.
bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, they never take one off. but
The problem with Stuttgart this year is they've got 11 draws.
they got a lot of draws.
6 wins and 11 draws.
But if you look at the
turn
goal,
2 of those into
what's annoying is if you look at the goal differential, they shouldn't be where they're at. They're only minus 15, where Schalke and Bochum is minus 34, 35.
Yeah.
Augsburg is minus 16. So if you look at that from a goal differential side, truly they really shouldn't be sitting where they are. It's those stupid draws that they keep getting.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
It will be a race to the end.
Yeah.
And I may be crying.
Yeah, I gotta say we may be watching a grown man cry in a couple
Yeah.
weeks. Apologies to Brooks. We didn't get enough time to get to the MLS.
Actually, there wasn't many. Well, there was some.
There was a
games.
couple of games.
FC
There was.
Cincinnati didn't play, so who
No,
cares?
There was a couple of games, but nothing serious. One item we didn't get to today, and Nate, you're the one who brought this to my attention. We could have brought this up during the Man United discussion. Erling Haaland was offered to the club, 4 years ago was it, by Solskjaer, and they passed. All they had to do was pay $4 million, and they passed on the kid. I think that right there shows why you need the Arabs to come in, because what they're going to do is they're not going to the oil money from Saudi Arabia. They're going to need Saudi Arabia to come in with that money and go, you know what? Everybody who's been here previously, out the door. We're going to bring our own people in. We know how to run a business.
I was just about to say it's deeper than money. It's people at the top making
Business.
stupid decisions, you know, on players and not bringing the right players that the manager wants.
Why wouldn't you trust someone who's been in your club and you know has the best heart for the club
They also
and
got
for
it's-
£4 million?
it's also-
That's it?
Well, yeah, and there is a price tag difference, but you know how we got Anthony Martial, right?
No, who'd they trust there?
Giggs. That's
Yeah.
a Giggsy.
How's that? Explain that one to me. I haven't heard that.
Van
he's the one
Gaal
who's
came
got
out in an interview, didn't he, and said he was Giggs's buy for
Oh.
the future because they thought Giggsy was going to take over as manager. After
Oh,
Van Gaal.
okay.
And they thought,
Okay.
He thought he was world class, and
I still don't think Haaland would have gone to United anyway.
Because of his dad.
Because of his dad
Because
and
of dad's
the history
situation?
that he had with Manchester United and playing for Manchester City and all that sort of stuff.
But see, I think Erling Haaland and his dad are businessmen, and I think they would have back then at £4 million. They would. You don't know what's coming. You don't know if you're going to have that offer, that chance, right? So it's like maybe we take it now and go. I don't know. Anyway, it's interesting to note that rumor that came out today. I don't know why Solskjaer decided to leak that. We'll say.
He started talking, hasn't he? He started talking about. I think he made a reference to the playing squad or the current playing squad right now, that they're a bunch of snowflakes, in the sense that, you know, the squad that he played in with Roy Keane and all that sort of stuff, it was roll your sleeves up, go out there and
yeah,
knock
but I
heads
think
off.
almost every squad is like that nowadays.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
like
a different mentality,
it's-
different era.
yeah.
This is like the NBA, right? With Charles Barkley and Dennis Rodman saying, "Oh, back in our day, we used
Yeah.
to knock the snot out of each other, and now everybody's flopping." It's the
20
same
years
argument.
ago, we didn't wear shin guards. We kicked each other in the legs.
It's the same argument. All right, guys, that's going to do us for this week. Thank you, everybody, for joining on We Are Soccer, the Sunday night extravaganza weekend wrap-up show. I don't know what we're calling it anymore.
We have no name.
We have no name. We appreciate it. Big thank you to Danny Price. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. It's always fun having you on the show.
Always loved it. absolutely fantastic.
Appreciate it. All right, Nate.
Sit next to my best friend. So.
Yeah,
I have
your best
friends.
United friends.
I have friends.
You guys, after we're done here, you guys can talk about weightlifting and how you like eat super healthy food, and I'm gonna go have a beer and eat some donuts.
Why can't I have a beer and talk about super healthy food?
You sure can. Absolutely.
Yay!
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Again, thank you to our partners at Dog and Pony Show Brewing in Oak Park, Michigan. Be sure to give them a visit. They are awesome. They have some great beers. Thank you to Next Level Training, the best trainers this country has ever seen. There's a reason U.S. men's national team and U.S. women's national team players fly into Detroit to train. It's because of Aaron Bird and Next Level Training. Thank you to Soccer World. Visit them at soccerworld.net for all your soccer gear needs. Again,